Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, and so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show. Booyah!
Well.
We just did the best show of the day in the
We
last
did,
30
actually. Best ever. Like, I'm so happy.
Now we got to do the real one.
I'm so happy that I'm not the only one taking L's in life. Like, when your friends is losing too, like, it's good. That's how we doing today, man.
I'm still just trying to recoup from what just happened. I'll be completely honest with you. I love all three of you guys, but y'all some
Mind
dogs.
blown. I'm seeing
Tyvis the man, he's like a washing machine, turns anything around. G. Bush, Mr. Suave, Jason.
Yeah, man. Look, I'm
gonna just leave that just Jason.
Listen,
I'm still speechless.
we all have interesting lives. It's nice to be able to come and reflect with each other and know that we all have faced some similar problems and situations.
That's
know,
right.
But, you know, the thing is, we weathered the storm. You know, we got through
we're
it.
here.
You know,
We're
that's
here.
life.
Survive an event.
So how about them Browns?
Yeah, how about the Brownies?
How about Bull? How about Bull's bet?
Bulls bet.
We do have Bull's bet of the day. Bull is not here, but guess what? He won yesterday, snapped his losing streak.
Okay.
He is now 19 and 20 in his career, and today's bet is brought to you by Bet Rivers. Hey, Ohio, Bet Rivers Online Sportsbook is the place to be for every single game. Now is the perfect time to join Bet Rivers Sportsbook. When you use deposit code SPORTS, you'll receive a second chance bet up to $500. You can get it on all the weekly action using deposit code SPORTS to help you win money on basketball, hockey, and baseball. Check them out at betrivers.com or download the Bet Rivers app today for the latest lines, odds, and boosts. And Bull's bet today, he's taking the Marlins, getting a run and a half versus the Phillies. He won taking the Orioles against the Athletics yesterday. This time he's going for the underdog.
That was
Marlins plus 1.5 against the Phillies.
That was his bet yesterday.
Orioles versus A's.
I feel like that's a cop-out.
Can we?
I feel like that was a cop-out by Bull.
We should track his baseball bets separate.
We do.
You
Bull
do.
on the year is, I can tell you right now, I'm pulling it up.
Baseball?
Against the spread in baseball, he is 5-4 on baseball bets.
Okay, because he claims that's his wheelhouse, is baseball. He's really, really good in baseball. So I'm curious to see as the year goes on.
He's 5-4 in baseball, and for anyone who cares, I am betting $10 against the A's on the run line every game. I'm up $155 already.
Wow.
So
You should.
I am.
Might be time to increase those bets.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm 9-3 through 12 games.
It might be time to double the bet.
You should bet.
As soon as I do that, I start to
Ride
lose.
the Devil Rays wave. That's what you should do.
They haven't been in the Devil Rays in 20 years.
Yeah,
Rays.
you're right. Listen.
Excuse me, the Rays. Let me be politically
Let's just call
correct.
them the Indians, too.
Yeah, right.
We're going back to
Let's
old
be
names.
politically correct. The Rays.
The Washington Bullets.
Right. That's funny. Like, you know, it's a lot of things that changed in the last 5 to 10 years. You can say certain things 5 years ago, not no more.
Nah, you
Even your
can't.
names of your teams get switched up, man. You can't say that. I can't believe they called themselves the Washington Bullets.
The Bullets.
like with a straight face. Like
Talk
that's-
about embracing the crime of the city.
yeah,
to be
like-
fair, the jersey was really good.
Fire.
I like the Bullets jersey.
Those first Wizards were one of the worst uniforms I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
those
those are not
green, them ones with the.
You wouldn't want to see
black-
them come back.
Burn those with the Cavs jerseys of the
Are you talking
powder
about
blue.
Are you talking about the Michael Jordan Wizards colors?
No,
The
he's
blue-
talking.
I'm talking about
The blue and gold, right?
Yeah. That was awful.
That's the Michael Jordan
But
Wizards.
nah,
yeah, it was awful.
But Gilbert Arenas had some with some black satin. It was like satin top, and then the bottoms was black. And it was
They did actually
It was
have
like
that.
two-tone. I'm like, you can't.
They had
have
the gold
two-tone.
with the white and stripe with the stars on it.
It was nasty.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
nasty.
they-
Those in the Whammer Cavs jerseys can just get buried and never.
Wait,
brought
which
back.
one is this? The Whammers cast?
The Whammer Cavs? They got the light blue and the black and the orange.
You don't like that?
Oh,
With the,
actually,
you talking about with the hoop on it?
I actually like the
Oh, that was the
creamsicle.
best one. That's a classic jersey.
the ones when they first moved into the
The
Glenn Arena,
all black with the
all-
powder blue.
when the arena sounded like an STD and the seats were blue.
Right.
The gunnery.
Those jerseys were,
The seats was blue, bro. They was powder blue. blue too. Like when you have powder blue seats, that is kind of. Yeah,
We just lost time for the next 3.5 minutes.
I never thought about that.
The Gundarina. Don't say it too quick.
Oh
You
my
need a shot for that.
goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yo, listen, we got time to in a good mood. Oh, there's a snort. You know he's got it when he's snorting.
I said 3.5 minutes.
Tyvus has the most infectious
look,
laugh of all time. Ever.
We got the Tyvus.
Oh my God.
We got the Tyvus laugh timer. Here we go.
Jason is crazy.
Can we get 3 minutes on the
Jason
clock?
crazy,
I'm
man.
going to get 3 reads in while Tyvus laughs. Guys,
Oh
if you
my
need to ever stop a laughing fit, eat a Built Bar. It will guarantee to put a good taste in your mouth and end your laughing fit. Use promo code LOCKDOWN15 at Built.com. Yeah, Anthony, add to the list. That's my bad. Also, we're going to talk Browns next, and that is brought to us by Lincoln Electric, the #1 manufacturer welding company in Northeast Ohio. They're now hiring for all great jobs. Lincoln Electric, the sponsor of today's Browns Talk. Anthony, will you please switch the monitor? Lincoln Electric, you're laughing like Tyvus. Tyvus is crying. The show's off the rails.
It's off
And
the
the
rails
Browns might
already.
get Devin White. G. Bush,
I'm
please get us
sorry.
back on track.
Yes. Devin White. We laugh right now, but Devin White is no laughing matter. Devin White is a guy who has said, look, now we don't know if he's doing the Greg Newsome thing or he has really requested a trade. We'll figure it out in a couple of days, but we'll take his word for it. Devin White requested a trade per Pro Football Focus. Now, Devin White has won a Super Bowl, supremely athletic. I believe he is on his 4th or 5th year?
Going into his 5th year.
He's going into his 5th year. That means he wants a new contract. Linebackers aren't getting them type of deals. Is Devin White a person, Jason, that's on your radar?
No.
Dang.
No.
That was the quickest no I've heard.
No.
in weeks.
What is wrong with you?
First of all, you can't pay everybody. Like, I know everyone thinks that cap is a myth.
Yep.
But the Browns are kind of getting up against it. If he wants a new contract, I don't know if they're going to have the financial means unless they start redoing other contracts or redo Deshaun again and add another 4 more. They're going to have voidable years on him in 2075 at the rate we're going. And go back and look at what Warren Sapp said about him, about just the effort. And I don't need any more defensive players what we're questioning the effort on, because we saw that last year. And I don't need any more selfish guys listen, I'm all about capitalism, especially in the NFL. Make as much money as you can because it's a really short amount of time to do it. But when you mix that with Warren Sapp saying they need to take the C off his jersey,
Oh wow!
like,
I didn't know he said all that.
yeah. So that to me is a lethal combination. I don't know that I want that on the Browns defensively. Linebacker is the weakest position. I think we can all agree on that with where
Yes.
they're at right now. I wouldn't mind seeing an upgrade of some sort. I don't think this is the answer.
Tyvus, you said preliminarily this might be something that you will look at. Devin White played very well during the Super Bowl years.
Yes, he did.
I mean, one would say they were one of the only defenses that were able to make Patrick Mahomes look regular.
Yeah.
Your thoughts with Devin White? Is he somebody on your radar?
Well, I mean, I would definitely do my due diligence on seeing what we can do with it. Obviously, linebacker is a position of need right now. We got our top guys that we resigned, Anthony Walker and Taki. They're coming off an ACL injury, so we don't know, exactly when they'll be ready. We think that obviously that Anthony Walker would be ready for the start of the season, which he should be. But this guy right here, I mean, when he's playing and he's interested and he's going, this guy is sideline to sideline. I mean, when I watched him about two or 3 years ago, the year they won the Super Bowl, this dude he played the game like you want a linebacker to play. Like old school, it didn't matter where the ball was at, he hawked it down and he came with some violent intentions. So the only thing that worries me is that he is right now in the 3-4. Obviously the Browns play a 4-3, so it'd be a little transition for him.
Okay. Me and Bull have had this conversation before. No, I'm glad you brought that up because Bull insists it doesn't matter anymore.
The 3-4 to 4-3?
Yeah. How big of a difference is it in
I mean,
today's
well,
NFL?
you think about it that you got 2 middle linebackers now, so obviously your outside is going to send the ball back. You got 2 guys pursuing. When it's just one and you're the main guy, I think he's perfect because he can get sideline to sideline, but it does make you not react as fast because it's somebody's responsibility already to get there. So it's the outside linebacker will cut the ball back. That next linebacker that's in the middle is his play to make. But if he doesn't, he has to send it back, and now you come make the play. That's typically how linebackers go.
But so many teams are in nickel now, just 4-3-3-4 matters as much as it did 10 years ago.
No, because you ain't really running 4-3. You're running 4-2-5 anyway, so it's just two linebackers operating. You want those guys. That's why the Browns did it the undersize. You want those guys to be able to get sideline to sideline. They have to cover so much ground because now that nickel is probably displaced from the box. Obviously, those receivers come out a little bit, so he's not even in the count. You need your DNs now to make those plays cut back, and now them linebackers got to be able to get sideline to sideline.
I'm torn about it. I'm torn. Actually, no, I'm not. The linebacker core for the Cleveland Browns, I don't even know who y'all got at this point. Y'all got some people, but right now, if camp started, you got Tony Fields balling. Tony Fields is getting all your reps. I don't know if
he ran into the punter last year.
Yeah, listen.
He ran into the punter last year.
That was his highlight. Tony Fields ran into the punter.
Wasn't he a high draft pick, 4th round, 3rd,
man,
5th?
Man, I don't know where he came from.
Mid-round.
I think he might have came from Get Go gas station. I don't know where.
And
he came from.
I hear the argument on Devin White. With somebody was saying that he had a low PFF grade in the run. I think what is it, 42nd McNuggets? He ranked 40.
Yeah, so I looked up these up, and PFF we know is not the end-all be-all. I'm going to read you his grades real quick. I'm not sure I've ever seen a player that the PFF grades differentiate from my eye test more. Because when I watched the Buccaneers, I think Devin White is really good. I haven't watched a ton of them, but for his career, last year, he had a 45.5 overall grade, and he had a 42.6 run defense grade. The year before, in 2021, he had a 36.2 overall grade and a 29 grade against the run. The year they won the Super Bowl, which, Tyvis, you alluded to, where we thought he was really good, he had a 43.4 grade and was just a 41 against the run. And as a rookie, he had his highest graded PFF season, 51.9, but still just a 46.9 against the run.
These is his overalls?
Overall grades and against the run.
They saying
Come, there's plenty of room in my boat if you wanna come on in.
Well, no, but that's
real quick, Tyvis. I remember watching him being like, "Damn, this guy's good. He's everywhere."
Yeah.
And
that man got sideline to
PFF isn't
sideline.
the overall be all. But
Yeah, I think
you
we
think
put
of a
way
player
too
that's a
much stock
different
in PFF.
grade to eye test
agree.
meter than this?
I see. Here's what you like PFF grades, right? So the thing they don't take in account for is this: they don't got the call sheet.
They don't. No,
and
they
if
don't.
you ain't got the call sheet, you don't know really. Like you really don't know what gap I'm supposed to be in. Like I could be supposed to be in a gap, but I just got cut off.
Yeah.
Or you could have been. Hey, this was my A gap. Like, you don't know what the exact call is. It's a little educated guessing going on.
I think for me, what I need to see is does he miss tackles? Like I think that's something that's key. And how well does he do in coverage because obviously the Browns are going to run a lot of 1 and a lot of 3. So can he get to his hook dropper and be able to play that? Because we know he got the speed and the talent to run the ball down if it's ran. We know the Browns have done things to try to plug up those inside gaps with the defensive tackles that they've signed. We need a guy now who can be a leader on defense, who can command the defense, who got some Super Bowl experience, and that can win this passing game. Since if we're going to run a 4-2-5 anyways, we need this guy to be able to do his hook responsibilities, and we know that he got the speed to do it.
McNuggets, what is he in the pass game? Is this we heard talk about run game? Is he a pass type dude?
So he actually grades highest on PFF in pass rush. His coverage grades, not great. 47.6 last year, 43.5 the year before, 39.8 in 2020, the year they won the Super Bowl, and 57.4 as a rookie. And to Tyvis's missed tackle question, he missed 16 tackles this year, 21 the year before, 16 and 13 as a rookie, right in the 12% range, which is pretty standard for a middle linebacker.
Okay. So to me, I look at it like this. Every move that I'm making, I'm looking at it like this. Can Jim Schwartz get the most out of him? If Jim Schwartz goes to – because I think Jim Schwartz has that ability. I think Jim Schwartz, he looked at the tape and he basically said, okay, Kevin, these are the guys I think I can win with. Mm-hmm. If Jim Schwartz comes out and says, let me watch the tape, and he doesn't move on him, I'm fine with him not moving on him. But if he comes to him and say, look, I think this guy could be somebody, I think this guy can thrive in my defense, I kick the tires on him, because one thing is you do need, he has speed, he does move around a lot, and sometimes PFF can be a little overrated, but at the end of the day, I will say this, though. I'm nervous at the fact that it's a contract year.
Well, let me ask you this, and I'll ask you, since you are totally out on this one. Say that the asking price for him was, we'll play the 3rd round pick for the Browns, one of your 3rd round picks. Would you make that trade and knowing that you probably won't pay him? Just for a 1-year rental?
No, I need more than 1 year out of him to give up a 3, I think. I'd have to think about that.
Well, I mean, I'm asking because are you going to get a 3rd round linebacker that's better than him?
Probably not this year.
Okay.
But here's my thing, I guess. This is where I fall on it. The Bucs have had him for 4 years. They don't want to pay him. What does that tell you? They've had 4 years.
Well, they looking at them PFF grades and they saying.
Well, no, they're looking at them every day.
And they're going to say,
I don't think the Bucs.
Why would we pay you if your numbers
I don't think
like this?
I don't think the Bucs give a damn about PFF. I think they see him every day in practice. They see him on the field. They've got more tape on him than anybody. And when the team, that's always a trigger for me, when the team that has you is willing to send you off because they don't want to pay you, what do they know?
But that's not fair because the Roquan Smith got traded from the Bears to the Ravens and he thrived and got $100. Did he get $100 million?
100 mil.
Yeah, he
That's
did.
crazy.
And he played great last year.
Yeah.
But how often does it work out that way as
I think,
opposed to?
well, you got to think about, is it the player or is it the scheme?
Yeah.
Like, okay, he's in a 3-4. Maybe he's not a 3-4. I don't know what they ran at LSU. Maybe he's not a 3-4. Maybe he's a 4-3 type of guy. So maybe people will look at him and say, we'll take him because we run what he was good at in college anyways. See, when you make an adjustment, when you're running a 4-3 all your life and then you go to the NFL and they say, you're going to play 3-4 here, it's an adjustment for linebacker.
There is something to be said for the fact that they went and made Deion Jones. They went and kicked the tires on Deion Jones. I forget what they gave the Falcons.
Guess what?
Move.
The tires were flat.
Yeah, he was out there.
There was no air
There was
left.
nothing left.
And that was he was coming from the Falcons used to run what the Browns ran. So
And he gave you nothing.
Nothing.
So if they gave up something for him, right? You have to think that.
But that was a free look. They swapped like 6s and 7s or something. They gave up hardly anything.
So I don't know if I'm gonna do them 3s because I got plans for them 3s. I got plans for them 3s.
I just said 1-3.
But I think the 3 is going to become a 2.
Yeah, I think that 3 is going to be package material to get somebody of impact. Now, here's the thing about David White. If you tell me I could get him for some a bag of everlasting gobstoppers
I don't think they do that.
And a Tupac all on me UCD.
I mean, if you want to duplicate the Deion trade, okay.
Yeah,
But that's not going to be the case.
That's not going. Yeah, they're not doing that.
and can you count on the fact that look at it? Hey, you tell him, look, it's a contract year. I'm sure he'll be on his best.
Oh,
behavior.
he for sure will.
For sure.
Everybody plays their best on contract.
If you were going to get the best out of him, he's a former first round. I think he's a top 5 pick.
Was he?
He was the number 5 overall pick in 2019.
Top 5 as a linebacker. So I will say that I think he ran like a 4.4.
No,
something.
he did. No, he did.
He
He
ran
tested unbelievable at the combine.
I mean, he has the skills. Can you imagine if Jim Schwartz can get the speed and athleticism together between JOK and this guy on pass rush? And both of them
That's what I'm saying. Both of them are good pass rushers with him and JOK. That's a new weapon now. You got to trust your safeties, which you can. You can send both linebackers. That's something that a lot of people don't do, and it could if they're winning, if their win percentage is good, you should hit home a lot, especially with Myles Garrett.
I do have one thing to throw out there about whether or not this is feasible. Jason mentioned the financial side. White is due $11.7 million this year. That's more than the Browns have ever spent on their entire linebacker room with Andrew Berry as the GM. So just keep that in mind when we're talking about the realisticness of this deal. 11.7.
It's 11 this year?
Yeah, because he's in the 5th year of his rookie contract.
And
so it's 11.7 this year.
I don't think the Browns even realistically have that much cap space left. I mean, yes, okay, fine, they can go out and create more. But where they stand today, I don't believe they even have that much left.
I guess, could the money be better used other places? Like, to me, this is the way I think of it. The part of the team that is the most important is the offense. You can have a great defense. If Deshaun Watson is not balling, we're done. We're finished. You might as well chalk it up and forget all that. So, to me, I'm still looking around at the other pieces and parts of these other guys, and I feel like, am I crazy for thinking that they need another receiver, or if there was if there was somebody in the draft that was available that you would say, oh, I'll take that receiver. Give me that guy.
Well, I mean, you got to think about what skill set are you looking for out of these wide receivers? Okay, so you signed 2 of them this offseason. So how much more do you want?
I'm greedy.
Clearly. Now you do know that both of these receivers that you signed can play inside and outside, right?
Yeah.
So there's possibility that you could see a set where DPJ is not on the field. Even though DPJ runs a 4.4, 4.48, not a 4.46 like me, so I'm faster than him. But 4.48, which is really good speed. You know?
He is.
So it's not like he's slow. But when you talk about a burner, I mean, obviously you're looking for the 4.3s. I don't even know what did Elijah Moore run? I don't think I know Marquise Goodwin ran.
He ran a 4.4. He's fast.
See, yeah, the 4.4 is,
I want.
What were you? 4.46. Google it. It's always there. If you ever question it, just Google it.
Like that's.
You want to switch the other side of the ball?
Dude, heck no.
You know what they told you about Tyvis's hips? he got to be.
In-depth discussion about
We're going to stop that.
He's like, I cleared that up last month, Bush.
Come on now.
My hips is fine.
WD-40 on the thing.
No, but honestly, guys, so let's wrap it up and say this. What are the percentage chance Tyvis they make this move or they are interested in him?
3%.
Dang, bro, you sit here and argue so valiantly, and then you came with the.
Well, I mean, because it's at the end of the day, they don't got the cap room. They're not going to pay him, and then if there's not like a 5th or 6th round pick that they're giving up for him, they're not going to do it. They're going to think we can address this position in the draft, and we'll have the guy under contract for 4 years, just in case he turns into a guy. We don't have to worry about him for the next 3 or 4 years.
Jason,
I was gonna say less than 10, and so I like Tyvis's number.
I would put it somewhere around 4.
You argued it so good.
I said you argued that so good.
Okay,
bro.
so if we didn't answer and you went first, what would your percentage have been?
So they talking something. I'm not
Duke
going
and knee-jerk.
I'm not going to the Dukeness of the knee-jerk.
You were around 10 seconds ago.
Nah.
You just dropped 46%.
But here's the problem. What got me? I was all for it when my ride in. On my ride in, I was all for it. However, I heard those PFF grades.
It's hard to justify you paying that.
It's like you was going to reward your son for having great grades. But his intern report came out, and it was like, bro, you got multiple Ds?
That's what I'm saying.
Nah, we can't do that.
And I'm not, like I say, I'm not one of those people that really care about the PFF because it is a lot of stuff that go into it. I do think that what he brings, if the leadership thing, it's the Warren Sapp thing that's kind of messed me up, but if he goes back, he got that mentality that you need in a linebacker. Somebody that's old school, see ball, get ball type of guy. And the Browns were missing that last year. However, the reason that I'm not so gun-ho going to get this guy is because I think they addressed it by getting a new defensive coordinator in there, Jim Schwartz. So I think automatically off top that the attitude on defense is going to shift anyways. And then you went and got some defensive tackles to plug up them holes in the middle. Yeah. So I'm not necessarily that concerned about the run game. Now, don't get me wrong. I still need to see it. I need to go when the preseason and the season come around. I need y'all to get some stops on the run side. But on paper and the way that they've handled this all season, I think they've done exactly what you should do.
I tell you what, you messed me up when that Bobby Wagner deal.
I told you.
When we told me Bobby wasn't coming in her, I said, yo, look.
Bobby is not coming no further east than the Las Vegas. That's it. That is it. The only exception would have been the Dallas Cowboys because Bobby grew up as a Dallas Cowboys fan, and he always wanted to play for Dallas. But he ain't coming back. If it ain't them, he ain't coming past East. It's not happening. It's just not.
McNuggets, tell me something good.
I got to read, and Earl's got a question he wants to pitch to you guys before we move on to our game of the day, which is certainly to get everyone happy, mad, and pissed off at the same time. But first, we have to tell you all about PCC Airfoils, the leading manufacturer of all airfoil needs throughout the country. PCC is hiring in all locations in Eastlake, Menor, Wickliffe, and Minerva for jobs starting at $18 and up, plus full benefit packages, paid time off, and a signing bonus. You can apply online at precast.com/careers to learn more. Earl asked me this morning. He wants to ask you guys. It's about Devin White. Then we're going to play Keep, Cut, or Trade. Take it away, Earl.
All right, so this morning, as always, me and McNuggets, we chopping it up, getting ready for the show. And we got to talking about, what current Browns player could be moved to gain a better asset at a different position for the Cleveland Browns. And we started talking about Wyatt Teller. Wyatt Teller and Joe Bitonio are the only two guards on the same team in the NFL making $15+ million per season. Could you see Wyatt Teller being involved in some type of package to acquire Devin White, or you all said we need another wide receiver? If Tampa Bay is trying to shed dollars, what about trying to go get Chris Godwin for a Wyatt Teller type swap?
Wyatt did not have a great year.
Nope.
So his value is going to be down, and I think that they are going to get to the point where they have to make a decision on the guards. I've said it a million times. $30 million in guards is a luxury when you're paying your quarterback as much as they're paying Deshaun. So that decision time, there is the days coming where they're going to have to foot that bill. But I don't think we're here yet. And I don't know that Tampa, what would Tampa want with Teller? Because I think they're kind of in a wonky transition period right now. They just lost Brady. I don't know if they want a $17 million guard. I would think that they want draft picks for these guys.
Yeah, I would think that they're trying to get a little bit younger. They kind of punting on, they want to be about 8-8 or whatever. I don't think they're doing a major, like a all out and out tank. But I think they're not trying to bring nobody back. But I will say this: I don't think Wyatt Teller has the most trade upside. The guy that has the most trade upside is the guy that we was talking about yesterday, Greg Newsome. He got all the trade value. He played well. He could play in the slot. He could play on the outside. He's young. He's a former first-round pick. Now, people don't want to hear that, but to me, he has the most trade value.
I didn't see yesterday. I saw whatever, but I didn't see the show yesterday. I didn't we all talked last year like Greg didn't have a great year, and I saw a lot of metrics. Again, the advanced numbers that he wasn't as bad as we thought. But I don't know that his value is at its peak right now either. Why are you trading from a deficit? Why are you trading guys? Like if I'm going to move someone, I want to move someone when their value is at its highest, and I don't think anyone on the Browns right now is coming off the type of season where would say, well, Chubb, but I'm not entertaining that nonsense.
The only thing about the Gnu trade. First of all, I personally wouldn't trade Gnu. I think that, it's a lot of riffraff about this nickel position, but I think the thing about him is he does have the luxury of playing inside and outside. The reason that when I told y'all last year when I realized that he actually is he's starting to figure this nickel thing out was when they played the Texans. I watched him break on the ball and do his responsibility as a nickel correctly, and I said, okay, I see it. I see the vision now. I see you can finally do it. To me, I think it's all about, obviously, nickels don't get paid that much money. Now, with his situation, the problem is that teams don't run base a lot, so he's not going to get a lot of outside reps. And that's where he's losing his value a little bit. But I think the Browns will give him a pretty good deal because they understand that he wants the big money. Yep. Okay, they don't want to let him go, and they know that they're putting him in this situation to where he can't get the money. So they'll take care of him and give him it won't be a crazy $100 million deal, but it won't be $40 million either.
What did Jeff Okuda? What that trade happened?
Fifth round pick.
Fifth.
Go Bucks.
Yeah, right.
And he was the third overall pick.
Right. And you brought up an interesting point. We never really discussed this with the Njoku contract, but I do believe that part of the reason he got so much is because he asked out, he bought back in, he was a team player, so they made him whole on the back end.
Exactly.
And I could see a very similar scenario with Greg where he gets paid much higher than a standard slot corner because of what you just said. You came in, you bought in, you sacrificed, so we're going to make you whole on the back end. You do what we ask you to do. Because what motivation the Browns? Why would they trade him?
That's what I'm saying. Why?
Because
you got a possibility to have a really good secondary. You got Juan Thornhill, a true post safety. You've already had the thrve guys that not three. You had Denzel, Martin Emerson became a really good guy, and you got G. New who finally came on late as a nickel.
Yeah.
Like this thing is finally looking like it can work, and now you're telling me you want to trade the guy? That makes no sense.
Plus, Emerson was a monster last year.
Exactly.
It was 1 year.
It was.
We got to see it again.
Like they're gonna come after him for sure.
And Denzel is injury prone, so he might play.
That's another thing. Yeah, like you're not about to get that up.
Incentive to trade Greg. I don't care if he did ask for a trade. So what?
When have the Browns actually given that person their...
David Njoku asked for a trade. Still here.
Kareem Hunt asked for a trade.
Still there. Baker asked for a trade. They told him no until they had Deshaun.
Exactly.
You can ask all you want. Doesn't mean you're going to get it.
Yeah.
Especially a guy like Greg.
What McNuggets is asking for is this new game. What is this game talking about?
We did this last month.
Oh, yeah, we did.
We liked it.
I did like it.
Some of the older fans in the chat,
The
not
chat
as much.
tried
They
to
didn't
run me
necessarily
off
get
the
it.
show last time we did
Yeah,
this.
they did.
That is true. So we're bringing it
You
back
must have
here.
said something
I
blasphemous.
mean, we got to fire somebody. What do you want me to do? We got to pick one.
Who did you pick?
I don't remember. But it did not go over well.
Yeah, it did.
So this is Keep Trade or Cut, the equivalent of FMK, but with Sports Edition. All 8 of these have
Thunderina.
one Cleveland Brown in them and other guys from around the league. So the rules, you got to keep one, you got to trade one, you got to cut one. Simple as that.
Okay.
Are you guys ready?
Let's roll.
And we have Bull's answers on the back end for each of these. So
Okay.
we'll hear Bull. Question number 1. Steve, you can take it. Keep trade cut. Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert.
That's tough.
Oh, my God in heaven.
That's tough. That's really tough.
I got 4 FUs from Bull, by the way, throughout this.
That is tough.
I don't even know where to begin.
I don't know where to begin.
All right, I'm going to step out. I'm going to keep Herbert.
That's where I was leaning.
I'm keeping Herbert. I'm trading. I had to trade Lamar Jackson because I think I could get more out of Lamar Jackson than Deshaun Watson.
All right, People's Champ, you just cut Deshaun, so I want to see the chat come after you. Come on,
Hey.
burn him like y'all burned me last time.
Hey, look, because here's the thing.
Deshaun.
Hey,
$50 million.
I can see it
out
either
his
way.
ass.
I'm speaking as a financial advisor here right now. As a consultant, if I want to get the maximum return, Herbert's the youngest. He's on a rookie deal.
You
No
about
brainer.
to pay him.
What we're gonna pay him.
And it's going to be more than Deshaun.
That's true.
But here's the thing: he's younger. He's on a rookie deal. I ain't paying him. I can pay him next year. But guess what? I'm gonna keep him, right? Lamar Jackson. He's injury prone. All the above.
He got hurt twice.
But hey, I'm not knocking it. He's been an MVP, but I feel like today, if you asked general managers and you said, which one of these players could you get the most back from in a straight-up trade? First of all, they don't even like the 230. They keep saying that 230. We didn't heard that. They're allergic to it. Lamar Jackson, they could give him a new deal, and he'll be happy to go play.
So your whole argument is about contracts.
Well, that has to be a factor.
No,
I'm
going off of talent alone.
All right, well, I know my answer, but you go ahead.
No, you go ahead because I ain't ready yet.
He want to poll the audience. Right? He want to take a survey.
Right?
You thought you was slick. I know what you was doing.
All right, I'm gonna do a minor flip on yours. I'm gonna keep Herbert.
Okay.
I'm gonna trade Deshaun and cut Lamar because Lamar's out there right now for the taking. Anybody wants him, just offer him a contract, and ain't nobody stepping up. So what does that tell you? I think you could actually get more in trade for Deshaun than you could Lamar.
Really?
Yeah.
If
I think you
Deshaun
could.
Watson was on the market today, you think somebody with the same tag that Lamar Jackson got?
Because he's under contract. So it's a big number, but they just massaged the number. They just redid it. And another team theoretically could redo it again.
And if you think he can get to be where he was as a passer, his game is different than Lamar Jackson. His passing ability would be better.
And I will say, like, I really like Justin Herbert, but what's he done?
Listen, I'm keeping Lamar. I'm trading Justin. I'm cutting Deshaun.
Okay.
2 shanks on Deshaun. Here.
I'm gonna tell you why.
Get him.
Because
Get him.
Check out hey, what's the chat saying?
Just
The chat
shake
going
the
crazy.
shower.
the reason why.
For the first time ever, they're on Jason's side. They're anti-Bush on this one. First time ever, Jason has won the chat.
The only reason that I'm gonna keep Lamar over both of the other two It's because Lamar is the only one out of everybody on this list that has not blown a playoff game.
Yeah, Jacksonville came back in a historic L. Patrick Mahomes came back on Deshaun Watson, historic L.
You could get the most for Herbert.
And on top
you
of that,
could get the most for Herbert in trade.
That's
Yeah,
why I
you
would
could.
trade him.
Yeah, you could get the most
Yeah,
for
you
Herbert in
could.
trade.
I actually like
But
that.
and then on top of that, I think win percentage wise, Lamar got the best win percentage out of all of them too. I
So
think.
you keep him.
But he has had a lot of injuries.
Yeah, too.
but he's missed a lot of time.
And it
Okay.
isn't even because he was scrambling. He got hurt in the pocket.
Doesn't matter. He's missed a lot of games.
So let me ask you. So if you keep him, you know what he wants. Does
So
that mean,
I give him 3 years, 150.
No. That's not what he.
That's what
not,
he'll take it.
5-250.
No, 5-250.
5-250.
He's standing on that.
5-231.
He gonna
I
let-
was told
Pete
at the
Prisco
combine.
told us yesterday he asked for the second most. The Ravens offered the second most guaranteed money, the second most total money ever.
5-231.
it.
5-231.
So
I'll take it or leave it.
So you would give him 5-231 completely guaranteed.
Yep.
All right. Well, you there you go.
Do you guys want to hear Bull's answer?
Yes.
Let's hear Bull.
I'm keeping Herbert. This one's really tough. I'm trading Watson, and I'm cutting Lamar Jackson.
Same as me.
It's a tough call,
It's tough.
but I got to factor in that neither Jackson or Watson played well last year. I don't know that either brings back much in the trade at the moment, but I still think Watson would bring back more. Might be crazy, but that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. That's,
Bull and I are in alignment.
That's a tough one. That like them.
You get the most back for Herbert.
You do.
These are all tough. You
Yeah,
ready for number 2?
Yeah.
Steve, let's take it. The running back category: Nick Chubb, Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry. Keep, cut, trade.
Keep Chubb, cut. What the heck?
Henry.
Yeah, and trade
Taylor.
Taylor.
I don't know. What's Taylor and Henry's contracts? I don't know those.
Taylor's still on a rookie deal.
How much longer?
He's going into his 3rd year now.
Keep Chubb, cut Derek, trade Taylor.
I only think you can get about. You might be able to get what, a third for Derrick Henry at this point.
That's why I'm cutting him. Isn't he on the block right now?
Yeah, that's I heard.
Yeah.
Dang,
And he's still sitting there.
like you said.
Like Lamar.
Jason
Lamar's a free agent.
He's out there,
team
and
could
nobody wants him.
A team could just sign him. A team could just sign Lamar. He's
No,
a
they
free
got.
agent.
We have 2 first-round picks.
Okay, for a franchise quarterback, that's not that high. Look how much the Browns gave up for Deshaun.
Let's see. Here's what I'm gonna do. First of all, don't get it twisted. I ain't about to get me ran up out of here, bro. One Nicholas Chubb isn't going anywhere. He gets
Smart
a
man.
lifetime contract from the Duke of New Jersey. We giving him that Udonis Haslam contract. So he gonna be a goon that come off the bench and give me at short yardage. Just hand it to Nick Chubb. He gonna put him in and do quarterback sneaks. He's never going nowhere. Lifetime deal. But I'm gonna have to cut Derrick Henry. Too much tread. Too many injuries.
Smart man.
He's been, and by the way, Nick Saban ran the brakes off of him too. And he ran the ball 100,000 times in Alabama.
Derrick Henry is. I ain't gonna say he cooked, but
He's not cooked,
He at the end of this
Well,
thing.
I made the mistake of saying that at the start of last year, and then he came on with the vengeance.
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
second
half.
most rushing yards.
Yeah, he hurt me. But Taylor's younger. I think I get a little more.
You will get
and
a
his
lot.
trade and his trade value ain't even that crazy himself because he was injured and he's a running back.
No running back.
I
trade
will
value
give.
crazy.
I'll trade Taylor, cut your boy Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb. That's a non-starter.
Well,
And here's what Adam the Bull said.
hold on,
that
wait a
same-
minute. Wait a minute.
You went.
Hold on.
Didn't y'all go?
No,
I
somebody didn't.
I think he co-signed the G. Bush move.
Actually, we're all in
Okay.
alignment on this.
Yeah.
I'm with you guys. Like, listen, I like all 3 of these backs, right?
I
you
do
can't
too.
go wrong with any of them. But we have the most familiarity with Chubb. We know he fits. I want Nick here.
You trying to stay on the people's good graces?
No, I don't care about them. they can hate me. It's fine.
can hate me now.
But Taylor being on a rookie deal is going to bring the most back. And I thought Derek was done last year. I thought Derrick Henry was done. He proved me wrong with a terrific second half. But we've got to be getting closer to the edge.
So
And when they hit that edge, they fall fast.
Well, I'm
and
glad
hard.
you said that. Will you take in fantasy? Are you going to take him if he's available, Derrick
Derrick Henry? Well, what round are we in?
Yeah, listen. Yeah, listen.
That's a good question.
I'm I'm not
First.
I'm not sparring with Jason. I don't like the fact that they let this dude creep up on me. I was winning all doggone years. And this dude had the nerve to not even set his lineup sometimes. I don't like that. I feel like you're trying to play me, bro. Go ahead.
Here's Bull on this same question.
Oof.
This one's easy, Bull.
Don't I say this?
Keeping Nick Chubb.
Smart.
Come on.
Trading Jonathan Taylor.
There you
Smart.
Cutting
Here we
Derrick
all in
Henry.
the unison.
Yep.
There you
It's
go.
close. And it probably would be smart to keep Jonathan Taylor because he's the youngest. And that's why I trade him. But Jonathan Taylor's only been great 1 year. So still not sure he's going to be consistently great, which is why I go with Chubb.
Smart answer.
So let me ask you really quick about Chubb. Do you think I don't see if Kevin Stefanski is here, I don't see an off ramp from Nick Chubb. Like,
No.
I could foresee Nick Chubb being like 32,
Well, I think that.
and he is like still the starting running back.
Well, the thing about it is they do a great job of protecting him. You know, people get mad over the 20 carries, him not getting the 20 carries. It's because they're thinking about the longevity of his career. We seen Ezekiel Elliott get 30 carries, and he's where he's at. We seen Derrick Henry. It finally last year caught up to him and finally got him an injury. Every time you run those running backs into the ground, they only good for a few years. But if you just plan it out strategically, he gets 17, 18 carries, and Nick Chubb has been effective. He was third in rushing last year with not a lot of attempts.
You see that? See, Tyvis, my nephew over here, he saves his best takes for when I'm here, bro. Like, you slid that in.
You're always here.
That was a dig. That was a dig. He slid that in there. He gonna tell me, you know I was on the carries. You know I want Chubb to get 36 carries. You like, that's why they only give him 14 a carry to keep him fresh.
Man,
Don't you want him around for more than just 4 years? He can give you Chubb can give you 4 great years, but then that'll be it.
Y'all made me crazy last year. I was popping Advil,
Like,
Motrin.
I didn't say anything.
Him and Jay.
I'm about to say I didn't say anything.
Oh my God.
Jason would be sitting here with the 4-man panel. He like, bro, y'all still talking about these carries?
Oh my God, you drove me crazy with that last year.
Well, Jason, you're in luck because we are done talking about running backs. Moving on to receivers, the wide receiver 1 category.
Hang on, real quick, before we do that.
You had something you was gonna say. I
Never
seen it
mind.
in your eyes.
It's all right. It's not that big of a deal. We already saw the next one. No, well, all right,
Go
back.
ahead.
We're back. You got the floor.
I'm curious to see, because that's the point I made, is you're extending Nick's career.
Yeah.
But we don't really know that until his career's over.
True.
So this will be fascinating test case to see when Derrick Henry hits the wall and falls off, what age is he at, what carries is he at, and how much longer does Nick get? You know, we think that's going to be the case, but we don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm on your side. I think that's going to be the case, but we don't know.
I think what they did was they looked at it because they have 2 examples. They had 2 prime examples in front of you. You had Zeke and you had Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
The Cowboys and the Titans rode those 2 running backs. None of them ever got to the championship game. So they said to themselves, well, let's not do that. Now Zeke is where the point where his knees aren't that great.
Now every time I hear Zeke, the only thing I think of is his last play in Dallas.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
He got run over.
See what I'm saying?
Poor
so
man.
it's like
Oh yeah. I forgot
National
about that.
champion,
So it's like,
had a
why-
great career, and that's all I can picture.
why run our running back to the ground? He could be effective in those 17 and 18 carries. We're taking hits off of his body. That's why it's going to be a huge year for Jerome Ford this year because he has to take some of those carries, which we seen him on the return side, so he got vision, which is great for a running back. He can take some of those hits off of Nick Chubb. You got 2 guys that's effective. This thing can go for a long time. And Deshaun Watson never makes it back. Obviously, we know we need great quarterback play to win it all, but each quarterback that's won the Super Bowl outside of Kansas City has had some help from the run game.
All right, I'm done.
Wideouts.
All right, we got 6 more of these. We've got to move through them a little faster. Wide receiver 1, Amari Cooper, Terry McLaurin, the Buckeye, and Brandon Ayuk out in San Francisco. Keep cut trade.
Man.
I'm keeping Terry.
Yep.
I'm trading.
Buckeye honk.
I'm trading.
It's an easy one, actually.
I mean, it is, but it ain't. Because
Amari's not gonna bring much back.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and I
he's not
want to
gonna bring
trade him, but he's not going to give me anything. So I would trade Ayuk.
I mean, would the Browns give up for Amari a 5th?
Yeah.
And now he's older.
Yeah.
Like Terry is obviously the youngest. He with no quarterback, he's consistently gonna bring you 1,000 in. I'm not being biased in this, even though I am wearing the shirt. Brandon Ayuk is one of those guys that he has the talent. He gives you those flashes, so it's just enough to make a team think I can make something
I
with
got
this guy.
somebody.
And Amari Cooper, he's just old. He's just getting up there in age.
You know what? He's the youngest old person I know because he's
Amari?
only like 29.
Yeah, he's 29.
But he's not what he was 3 years ago, Amari.
No, I wouldn't say
He's
that.
on the downside. What's Ayuk's contract? Do you know? Do you have
He
it?
just signed a decent extension, but it's not crazy money.
I would trade him. Man, I hate agreeing with Ty. That's no fun. That's no fun. I hate when you're right.
I'm gonna go last the next time.
Yeah, Terry. I'm the exact same way again.
Yeah.
Keep Terry, trade Ayuk, and cut Amari.
I gotta say that too. You're not gonna get nothing from Amari Cooper except some outdated wedding invitations. They're not.
Don't get me wrong. When we say is Amari Cooper is great in college.
Yes.
We love him.
But-
Great number wide receiver one. But
Well,
it's,
the
when
chat's
your
coming
last-
for you.
I know they are. But for this game, like, come on
when
now.
your last value is a 5, you have nowhere to go. You have nowhere to go but down from there.
Bull disagrees with you guys, though. We may agree out here, but as you'll find out, Bull, not on the same page. Let's take it easy.
I'm keeping Terry McLaurin.
Smart man.
I'm trading Amari Cooper, and I'm cutting Brandon Ayuk. You're doing good with these. These are all really. That was an interesting trio of receivers. I like all three. I actually like all three of those guys a lot. I just think Terry McLaurin's been on terrible teams, but I think he's the best of those three, and he's younger. Well, I don't know if he's younger than Ayuk, but he's definitely younger than Cooper. So there you go. I think he's the best one.
And he's had no quarterback. McLaurin's never had a good quarterback.
Can you imagine
throwing
what
to him.
Terry McLaurin would do with like Patrick Mahomes
Silly.
or Josh Allen?
Yeah.
This dude
Well,
would.
he got Sam Howell and Jacoby Brissett. And he got Eric Bieniemy calling the plays.
Hey, bro, they can keep telling me. They can tell me Junior Baker Mayfield is good. Sam Howell looks just like Baker.
He
Mayfield.
does. No,
Has
he
the
does.
Same game.
If he
same
wore the number
facial-
6 jersey and they
It'd
put a
be-
helmet on, they look
it'd be
exactly
Baker.
like.
Sorry, I ain't agreeing with it. No. Yeah, it's between Ayuk and Amari Cooper.
Bull's allowed to be wrong.
Yeah.
He's wrong.
Hey, Bull's in the chat right now. What's up, Bull? Thanks for
Bull, you're wrong.
Really?
Bull's in the chat. Yep,
You're wrong.
he is. All right, next question. Wide receiver 2. Keep cut trade. Elijah Moore, Gabe Davis of Buffalo, or Josh Palmer of the Chargers?
It's
Woo, that's actually a really good one. Because Gabe Davis
I
is
like
something
it.
serious.
I like him.
I think I'm going to have to keep Gabe. God. I said I was going last. Excuse me. Go ahead. Go ahead.
too late.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I'll start it.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna keep Gabe Davis. I'm gonna trade Elijah Moore and Palmer getting cut.
I'm right there with you. Even though Palmer probably would get you more back because he had a very productive season.
Yeah, I'm trading. What did the Browns just give up? A 3 or 4? What did they give up for?
They gave up
2,
a second but got a
got
third
third.
back.
That's right.
So they moved down 30 spots.
Palmer's season last year, because
Palmer will get you a 2.
he was balling. Because you got to remember, Keenan Allen and
Mike
Mike
Williams.
Williams went out, so he became like the number 1 receiver for them. And dude spread the ball around. He was eating.
Would you give up a 2 for him?
To be a wide receiver too?
No. I'm just saying.
This is a wide receiver too argument, right?
No,
That is what this is.
I thought it was just on face value.
No, he said we said wide receiver too.
Well, those are all.
There's all wide receiver too.
You
Well,
phrase it how you
the
want
fact of the matter is, I'm keeping Gabe Davis, but I
Okay,
think
so,
I think Elijah Moore has more upside.
I do too.
But I don't think the league might not understand that. If you're going off of just last year's stats, obviously we know what Elijah Moore had to deal with the Zach Wilson, but his stats alone, Josh Palmer balled last year. So I
like him. I like him.
Which is why
His stats last year, for anyone who doesn't know, 72 receptions, 769 yards, 3 touchdowns, average 10.9 yards per reception.
He's a DPJ. I need to stop calling anybody with mediums, like anybody with 800 yards is automatically DPJ. Automatically. It's just, it don't matter if it's the same body type, the same outside slot, it's just DPJ. It was 769.
I'm keeping Gabe Davis. I'm trading Palmer, and I'm cutting Elijah Moore. I think Palmer's bringing back more in trade
for real?
than Moore.
Oh, wow.
if you're going off of last season.
And that's what teams are going to operate.
Yeah, it's true. But I think Elijah Moore got a chance to be really special. Like it could be a real steal for the Browns.
Hey, book this, man. Put it in the books, man. This is one of the G. Bush's predictions of the knee-jerk reactions. I got him with 1,000.
That's a knee-jerk.
Elijah Moore, 1,000.
By September, Chubb's going to have 1,800 yards. Amari's going to have 1,500. Elijah's going to have 1,300. Njoku's going for 1,000.
Hey, listen.
Watson's throwing for 7.
G had him scoring 77 touchdowns last year. Predictions in totality. Kareem Hunt's getting 8. Chubb's got 14.
Yep.
Cooper's catching 20.
Wait a minute.
Njoku with 10.
You want to know something funny? Last year before the season, we argued who was the Browns' second best offensive weapon, and we all hands down said Kareem Hunt over Amari Cooper.
Sure did.
Well, I wasn't here that day because I never would say that.
Because we were saying that Deshaun was suspended, and we said that we was going to run the ball a lot. So we thought that Kareem Hunt would be more valuable than Amari Cooper.
Jason,
I was sitting back thinking about that.
Do you know what Tyvus was on that take?
Huh?
Do you know what Tyvus was on that take?
What?
Catastrophically.
Roll Bulls answer, man.
Mike,
All right, let's hear
have
what
we
Phil has
talked
to
about
say.
catastrophically wrong? Have you talked about
I
it?
think I would actually take Elijah Moore, keep Gabe Davis, Josh Palmer trade, because I think there's some upside there, and Gabe Davis cut.
He's horribly
Close again on all three.
Bull has lost his mind. Bull,
Catastrophically
I
wrong.
usually be with you, and I hear some of the stuff you say, but you are absolutely wrong on that. If anything, you should trade Gabe Davis because you'll get the most for him.
Right.
And Bull really is in the chat. That he just texted us, said make sure fans know that it is really me in the chat. So if you see Adam the Bull on YouTube,
Tell
in
him
the chat, it is Adam the Bull.
Well, tell him they about to come for his neck because he's wrong.
Oh, goodness. Look, the chat about to be jumping in. What we got next?
Jason, we have not done catastrophically wrong yet. I will explain to people next week what that really means.
Okay.
But this is the tight end question. Keep cut trade. David Njoku, Evan Ingram, and Pat Freiermuth.
Oh, I'm keeping the Njoku. I would trade.
Oh, I hate you.
I would trade Evan Ingram because people will look at him because of that 4.4 he ran, and he actually made himself a lot of money last year working with T-Law, and I'd cut.
I thought Freiermuth would bring back the most in that trade.
You
no?
think?
You don't think so?
Maybe. You know what he is? Is he younger?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't switch those two.
Hey, man, David Njoku probably is more. Well,
But Evan Ingram
he's
is like
just.
Evan Ingram can
He's
wreck
really
games
athletic.
for you.
Like, he really kind of.
No, Njoku, I'm taking it because if Njoku wouldn't have got hurt, he would have had probably been second or third in receiving.
There'll
for
be a
tight ends
contending
last
team
year.
that will really give you some stuff for Njoku. Like,
For sure.
yeah, like.
Well, if he would have caught the ball in the end zone against the Saints that
Yeah.
hit him right here,
You're right about
I'd
that.
feel a lot better about keeping him.
You're right.
Hit him in the mouth. I'm gonna keep Ingram.
Well, Evan Ingram drops passes too, so take that.
I'm gonna keep Evan Ingram. I'm gonna trade. I'm gonna trade Njoku, and I'm gonna cut Freiermuth.
I'm keeping Njoku, trading Freiermuth, and cutting Ingram.
So you with me?
Again, I think we're like in lockstep on all these.
But Evan Ingram is a really good player, though.
Oh, they're supposed to be hard.
His only problem is that he drops the ball sometimes. But when he catch that thing, he can go.
We need different color tests like in college. You need to give out 4 instead of 3. Right now, you got a red, the green, and the blue sample. And I think they sharing answers over there, teacher.
Where's Bulls?
Let's see how Bull stands. Take it, Steve.
That's another good one. Evan Ingram was like good 4 or 5 years ago with the Giants, and he sucked for a bunch of years. And then he was awesome last year. He's older. Freiermuth, I mean, I think he's got a little more upside than Njoku. Njoku's a better athlete, but I think Freiermuth is more consistent. Man, that's a tough one. I would keep Ingram. I would trade Freiermuth, and I would cut David Njoku. But again, very close between all three.
So we have 3 different separate answers.
Bull hilarious. Bull is out of his mind at times. I'm not mad at it, though. I mean, like I said, Evan Ingram had a monster year. But that's the thing. It's like he's either going to be really good or he's going to be really bad. Yeah. So that's the thing.
I think I picked him up in fantasy. I think he
probably
He
would.
was unbelievable in fantasy this year.
So he was on your squad.
He helped me a lot.
We have 3 more. The last one is the best. So we'll take our time. We're in no rush, but this is the defensive end category. Miles Garrett,
T.J. Watt keep.
T.J. Watt, Micah Parsons.
T.J. Watt keep.
Good luck.
Oh my God in heaven.
That is, I'm keeping T.J. Watt. I'm gonna just tell you all that off drib. The other two.
Oh my God in heaven.
This is crazy.
The other two.
This
I don't
crazy.
know.
Hey, chat, you can't even come up with this. This is,
I don't know.
oh my gosh. All right, here's what I'm gonna do.
I don't know.
Here's what I'm
You
gonna
know
do.
what? I'm gonna keep T.J. Watt, trade Micah, and cut Miles. Yes.
Wow.
I said that. I just said
Wow.
I'm keeping
Miles. I'm keeping Miles.
this.
I can't.
that. I watched T.J. Watt and Michael Parsons single-handedly win
All
games,
right.
so I can't. There's no way I can.
The person with the most the most unquestionable upside.
T.J. Watt almost broke the sack record last year. I ain't hearing it. I ain't hearing it.
That ain't even an option. To me, I'm cutting T.J. Watt. He's and not because he's not a good ball player. One, because he's been injured more than the rest of the guys. I'll say this, man. I'm gonna keep Myles Garrett. I'm keeping Myles Garrett. I'm trading Micah Parsons because I feel like I can get 2 ones from somebody.
This is the tough.
I feel like Micah Parsons low key got quarterback value. Like he the only dude right now that you can get 2 ones with.
You can get 2 ones from Miles.
You get 2 ones.
I think
You
it's
get
2
2
ones
ones with all of them.
But if I could get 2 ones with Miles and Micah's is younger, I get 2 number ones and something else on top of that, and a 2 or a 3. His trade value got to be higher just because he's younger and he's been lights out.
Well, I
dominant.
said I would trade Micah, so you're not talking to me.
Yeah.
You're talking to him.
But I'm keeping Myles Garrett. I ain't taking T.J. Watt. We don't keep.
What did you say?
Hey, Aditi, give me the camera.
What did
Aditi,
you say?
we don't keep no Steelers over here.
What did
we
you
not
say?
keeping no Steelers on the roster. I'm gonna take a loss on that one, even though he good. No. We're gonna have to cut you.
I can't.
We're gonna have to cut you. USFL is playing down there at Paul Benson Memorial Stadium. We'll catch TJ down there.
I don't think
Has
it's
Jason answered yet?
No. I don't think it's no wrong answer in my personal opinion.
I have nothing to say.
You got to do
He
it.
is so stuffed. Hey, congratulations to you guys. Clap it up with the water bottle. You guys are freaking awesome. This is monstrous question.
There's no wrong answer. That's
There's
the
no
thing.
right answer
There's
either.
none.
There
All
is
right,
no
you wanna
wrong
hear
and no
both
right
answers
answer.
first, Jason?
No, he needs to go. Put the pressure on him.
Thank you, Tyvis.
Okay, I'm gonna.
There's no wrong answer.
I'm gonna keep Miles, but damn, he better be motivated. And he better.
There's no pre-qualifying.
He better come to
You know what I'm
camp.
saying?
He better come to camp with a good attitude.
You better be in shape too.
Like, buddy, I'm putting a lot on you right now, man. You better not let me down. This better not be Mike Miller again.
Hey,
I ain't got worried.
I thought you was talking to Jalen Carter.
I ain't got worried about that. So who you trade?
I feel like a fool saying I'm going to cut Micah Parsons.
That's
but
crazy.
I think
That's
JJ
crazy.
brings more in trade. I think. No, you know what? I'm going to cut JJ, and I'm going to.
It's TJ.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm going to cut JJ.
Yeah, swap him.
I'm
right?
going to cut TJ, and I'm going to trade Micah.
God, y'all crazy.
I'm sorry for putting you all through the torture chamber like that. Let's see how Bull answered. The next one's a lot easier, I promise.
Oh my God. Wow. Yeah, man, Browns fans are gonna hate me today.
It's tough.
I would keep Micah Parsons. I would. Oh my God. I guess I would trade. I would trade Myles Garrett. I would cut DJ Watt. I'm probably nuts for that one, but
Man, hey, listen, that was cold.
I don't want to go no more. That was.
Now,
I don't want to play this game.
That was the hardest
now,
one.
if you would have said, I don't know if I could have answered if you would have had like Nick Bosa, right? If you said Nick Bosa instead of TJ Watt, I would have just not. I wouldn't have answered.
I would have had to be biased.
Yeah, it couldn't. It's too tough.
We got 2 more, and the last one we got to get to. This is the backup quarterback one. Josh Dobbs, Colt McCoy, Tyrod Taylor. Make this one quick.
I'm keeping Colt.
I don't want none of them. I don't really want none of them.
I'm keeping Colt, cutting Dobbs, and trading whoever the other one is.
Tyrod.
Yeah, Tyrod. Trade Tyrod. That's easy. Colt's been around the longest.
For the Cleveland Browns' sake, I would keep Tyrod, cut Josh, trade Colt.
Yeah, I'm cutting Dobbs. It's between Colt McCoy.
You know
All
what?
of them play for the Browns. I had no idea.
That's crazy. I would actually keep Tyrod Taylor just because of the simple fact that I think he could scramble around.
Yeah, that's why I keep
Yeah,
him.
you know
That's
what?
exactly why
You
I
know
keep
what?
him.
I don't ever do this, but you guys are right. I'm switching.
What you mean you don't do this?
I don't
You've
ever
done it
switch.
like 3 times
I don't
already.
flip. I don't flip.
Oh, today?
You have.
I don't.
That's
know.
what
I
she
just-
said.
I
I've
don't-
never done it before.
We just lost him for 3.5 minutes.
Go the ball. You let her tell
Hey,
you
we
that
got
lie?
to real time this back in for this next one, I promise.
You let her tell you that?
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Listen, Tyrod Taylor.
I'm keeping Tyrod. They're right. He's more of a better fit with it as a Deshaun backup. I'll
Yeah.
keep Tyrod trade Colt and cut Dobbs.
All right, let's hear what Bull says.
Oh, my God. I would keep Tyrod Taylor. I would trade, not that any of these guys have trade value. I'm just doing them in the order that I think they are. I would trade Colt McCoy. I would cut Josh Dobbs.
There it is. There it is.
All right, so the 8th and final. This is the GOAT category. The greatest of all time.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Michael Jordan. Tiger Woods. And Tyvis Powell.
Well, it's funny that you ask, you know?
I mean,
Honestly, I would well, Michael's going to give me the most in the values of trade. So we're going to trade Michael. We're going to cut Tiger because he's on one leg right now. And obviously we got to, I mean, you know, why would we not keep Tiger? I mean, he saved seasons, for Christ's sakes. Why would we not?
This is a real question, dog.
Go ahead, you know.
These
Don't even
know
pay
what?
attention to the fact that I'm here.
You know what?
Do it like I'm not even here.
Michael and Tiger have never made me laugh like Tyvis does. I'm keeping my guy. I'm keeping Tyvis.
I appreciate you.
I'm keeping Tyvis.
Thank you so much.
Screw Jordan. I'm Team LeBron. Cutting Jordan's ass and trading Tiger. You got the wrong one in that category anyway.
Hey man, ask Boo the question. Go to.
No, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that.
This is crazy, bro.
And I got J's on today, and
I can't believe you put this man on the list. Man. Straight face. Hey man, look, listen. I think Tiger washed, so I'm cutting Tiger.
Okay.
I'm cutting Tiger. Here's by the way. Oh, John. Hey. Harbaugh called me and they said they need a recruiting coordinator at Michigan. I'm trading Tyvis to Michigan, and I'm keeping Michael Jordan.
I wouldn't accept. you know. Back, it's a quick story. So back when I was playing, you know, when I was in the league, and I would ask teams, you know, say if you got traded. I would ask the stars of the team, say if you got traded to a team you didn't want to play for. Around this time, it just so happened to be the Cleveland Browns because he was 0-16.
Yep.
I say, what would you do if you didn't want to go? They said that they would. So when you get traded, for people that don't know, when you get traded, you got to take a physical.
Right.
They would fail the physical on purpose, so the trade would get voided.
I
They
mean,
get traded back.
And I'm thinking the quickest way to fail a physical is say, but you got lower back pain.
No, you'd be like, man, my shoulder.
But wouldn't they have
can't
to
lift
give
it above here.
Wouldn't they have to give you an MRI?
I don't know. Probably.
But if you can't lift it above here, it don't matter.
It don't matter. They'd be like, send me back. Send me back.
Hey, I want my picks back, bro. Give me my picks back.
It is 12 o'clock, and
Wait a
Bull's
minute.
answer.
Okay, what about
We're
to
going to get
say?
to it, but Bull's answer is brought to us by Carly Gracing, the official NASCAR team of Northeast Ohio. We asked Bull that same question, and is Bull saving Tyvis? Let's see.
I can't cut Tyvis. He's my guy.
Thank you.
I'm keeping Tyvis. I'm trading Jordan. I get a haul for Jordan, and I'm cutting Tiger.
See?
He's a mess the last decade. I love you, Tyvus.
Tiger's washed. At least, listen.
I love you too, boy. Thank you. See that?
Hey, listen.
He thinks just like me. You can get so much for Jordan.
Man, listen, man.
Jordan about to have, Larsa's about to change her last name to Jordan.
Who?
Larsa Pippen is about to be Larsa Jordan.
How?
What she said
She's
that
dating his kid.
She dating Michael Jordan's son.
You
So
know
she said
what?
if they get married, she was going to take the last name Jordan.
You've taken this too far.
Michael Jordan is really called checkmate on this Scotty thing. It's got really ugly. Scotty should have never did what he did. This is bad.
Larsa,
man.
Larsa, you know what you're doing. You know what's wrong. This is wrong on so many levels. You don't be around here influencing that young man. You know you got them ways about you. You need to watch yourself. You gon' philander all that. Listen, you rappers, moguls, and now you go with Scottie Pippen couldn't even get a deal, and you now gonna play bargain down to his son?
Yeah.
His son played for UCF. You don't go with no Golden Knights. This is unacceptable. You're doing way too much. You know what? Somebody need to get her together. What's the person that said, fix my life? Yaya, fix my life?
She need to go to Average College or something like that. She do whatever she need to do to graduate or something. This is sad.
I'm gonna pull us back in here before we get down to Larsa Pippen.
Look,
I'm gonna pull us back in here.
Jordan.
We have to discuss Evan Mobley's candidacy for the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year award. There have been about 17% of the votes have been cast, at least publicly. And right now, Mobley is in second place behind Jaren Jackson Jr. on the official ballots that have been cast. However, I know at least one of us on the set believes it's a no-brainer. He should be Defensive Player of the Year, and I know Tyvus may not agree with that. So, Jason or G, would you like to start, either of you, to make a case as to why Evan Mobley should be the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year?
Here's how they do. First of all, let's talk about NBA writers. NBA writers be having the craziest group thing I've ever seen in my life. Y'all, listen, it looked like y'all being in the secret room and be like, we are only voting for this guy this year. And then the next year, he could have a better year than he did this year. And be like, no, he won last year. We're only voting for this guy.
You talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo?
No, I'm talking about Jokic getting 3 straight MVPs. That's crazy. It's ridiculous.
Well,
He's not going to win it.
I mean, LeBron could have won it every single year, but we talk about Mobley. Evan Mobley, to me, should be the Defensive Player of the Year because here's one or two reasons. If you're going to say you reward the person who plays and is the most integral part of their team, the Cavs didn't make the playoffs last year. Guess what? They're the number 1 defensive team in a lot of metrics, right? They made the 4 seed, right? They're the top 4 in the Eastern Conference. Evan Mobley is the best defensive player on the best defensive team, and they made a crazy jump. Now, if you look at it, obviously Jaren Jackson, he does his thing. Cool. Memphis Grizzlies, I like the story. But there's a lot of advanced metrics that say that Evan Mobley is the best defensive player. He contends, he shot blocks, he can play off the ball, he can guard 5 positions. He's just dope. And by the way, he's played how many more games than Jaren Jackson? How many more
He's
games?
played
has he
900 more minutes.
I
for
just,
the record.
I just like G's slogan, Evan Mobley, he's just dope.
He's just dope. Super dope.
Well, you hit on the last point you made was where I was going to start. Jaren Jackson, I don't have a vote. I lost all my voting privileges when I left the beat. I used to be one of those people you talk about who used to sit in the room and group thing.
Like, hey, Varden, what you got?
No. But I don't have a vote anymore, but if I did, it would be Evan Mobley. Jaren Jackson is off my list just because he hasn't played enough. He's missed too many games. And Brook Lopez is nice, wonderful player, but he can't guard as many positions as Evan can.
No.
Evan can switch out guards. He could guard anybody on the floor. And I think Jared Allen's probably going to cannibalize some of Evan's votes, not necessarily people voting for Jarrett, just saying, well, he's got Jarrett next to him. And it's true, and you can't really get around that. Jared Allen is a tent pole to what they do defensively. And when Jarrett's not out there, it almost feels like everything sort of deteriorates a little bit. So I think that's going to hurt Evan's chances.
That's where
But if you watch Evan night in and night out, if you watch him play, the body control that he has of being able to alter shots, block shots, and not foul, the way he can position his body, the way he can guard the post, the way he can guard on the perimeter, he's only going to get better. I loved the pick at the time. Before that draft, I'd said, like, Mobley's the guy that they need. That's the piece that they need. They better hope that he's there. He was there. They took him. He's even better than I thought he was going to be, and he's only going to get better. If he can add a three-point shot to his bag consistently, he's going to be an MVP combination, MVP discussion.
If they
down the road.
redrafted it, would Evan Mobley go first overall?
Who was
if they
first
redrafted
pick?
that NFL draft?
NBA.
Cade
NBA.
Cunningham and Jalen Green were the two
I
picks
think
ahead of
Mobley's
him.
probably the number one pick.
I agree.
I think Mobley's
Hands
one,
down.
and
I haven't
Cunningham's
heard of
probably two.
Cade. Cade, has he done anything?
He's been hurt.
He
a
had
lot,
a lot of injuries.
A lot.
And Scotty Barnes, I hated that. He won Rookie of the Year last year. I thought that was a mistake, and
It
Barnes
was.
has not had a good second year. Mobley, to me, is going to be the best player in the draft, and I kind of stumbled over my words, but I believe if he adds a three-point shot and he can make threes consistently, he will be in MVP discussions down the road. That's how good Evan Mobley can be.
That's crazy. Because if he win Defensive Player of the Year this year, you know what they're going to do, right? He's just always going to be in the mix.
discussion.
He's
He'll be in the
always going to be on
discussion.
the mix.
So,
Draymond's in the conversation still.
Well,
I don't think he's going to win it, but he's in the conversation.
Well, my thing with the Evan Mobley thing is, y'all hit on it, is that he's really good, but everybody knows that when Jared Allen's not and he has forced to play center, he doesn't look that well. That's the thing. So what I do respect because it's between him, Brook Lopez, and Jaren Jackson Jr., what I respect about Evan Mobley is that he does guard everybody. He switches on guards. He gets blocks. He gets all that, which if you're going to say a defensive player, you want a guy that can do all the roles. And I think that's the difference that he has over a Brook Lopez and over a Jaren Jackson Jr. However, he's not that great when Jared Allen is not on the floor on defense. I think, who is it? Brunson was the one that went crazy on him.
Well,
so that was
There was a time they tried to protect him from some of the bigger centers, to your point. They didn't want him going up against – they've sort of released that a little bit, and they're comfortable with him now. But, yeah, I mean, he's better. You want a guard playing center? He's not a natural center. I think he should be a 3, but they don't want him guarding threes they don't want him trying to guard Kevin Durant for an entire game or LeBron for an entire game. Switch on to him for a few possessions, okay, fine. Mm-hmm. Trying to guard him for 35 minutes a night, probably not the greatest. And he's got to develop more of an offensive, deeper range, get to his game to play the 3. But I think we get too hung up on blocks sometimes. Block seems to dictate Defensive Player of the Year.
Well,
sometimes.
On the steal side, I think Jaren Jackson got more steals than him or something like that. Show me that graphic again, McNuggets, that Mobley versus Jackson stats. Because I think, but the only difference is that Mobley plays more.
Yeah, if Jaren played in 65 games this year,
I look at it
because I'll be right there. That looked like on the defensive side looked like Jaren Jackson.
The advanced metrics, I used to never really pay no attention to especially when it comes to the defenders. But to me, I like to look at how many shots you defend. Like how many contested shots can you get? Because here's the thing, like the difference between guys in the NBA knocking down threes, like some people think if you this close to a guy, that's uncontested. If I'm this close to Jason and I don't like that's money. Like he's hitting that. Yeah. So for him to be able to contest, and the cool thing is he can contest and not even foul. Like so, I think he's gonna. Do you think he'll be? I think he'll be first team all defensive.
He'll definitely be first team all defense.
Sure.
There's no question about that.
I mean, and the Cavs haven't had anybody on first team all defense. Have they ever? Like I'm not.
Has LeBron ever been first team?
No, I think he made a second team here or there, but not first team all
Eric
defense.
Snow.
E. Snizzle, shout out to.
I mean, I thought in Miami LeBron should have won Defensive Player of the Year and MVP.
Yeah,
he had a couple years where
I know somebody that did do that.
It's happened twice, G. LeBron and Larry Nance, by the way.
You want to know who did it?
I'm aware.
Yeah, we're aware of him.
Just wanted to let you know.
We notice he's not on.
Hakeem did it too.
And Michael Jordan did too.
I think Hakeem did it. I know he did.
But
I think Hakeem did it too.
The other guy. I'm talking about the most recent guy.
That'd be Hakeem.
No,
actually.
So what you gonna do, Tyvis?
I think Hakeem did it when Michael was retired.
Giannis Antetokounmpo just did it like 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago.
MVP and Defensive Player of the Year?
You better go look it up.
Yeah, I think he did.
What's wrong with you? Best player in the world.
I thought Michael did it. Michael did it in the 80s, I think.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Giannis just
And
did
it's
it
kinda
like
hard to do it
Giannis
as a
just did it
guard.
like 2 or 3
I
years
remember
ago.
that.
It's kinda hard to do it as a
defensive
guard,
player
too.
of the
Was
year.
it during the COVID
He
year when
did.
no one was paying attention?
It was the COVID year. When
That-
there you go.
What you talking about? What you talking about is irrelevant.
Now, I do remember that COVID year, they didn't win the championship. I'm confused
Well,
about that.
yeah, because somebody got hurt. We lost to the Heat because I think Giannis got hurt.
This guy.
I mean, have you been to Milwaukee ever? Have you
Cashing checks now?
Have you been
for
in
the Bucks? You on Jimmy's payroll now? You on the Haslam payroll, cashing checks on the Bucks.
Wait a minute. I have, to be fair, I've said it multiple times. The day Kevin Durant wrote on the Players Tribune that he was going to Golden State was the day I became a Giannis fan. So it's not like I was a bandwagon Giannis.
So you gonna be in
Bucks
Jimmy's
fan.
suite when the Bucks play the Cavs next year in
If he,
the conference
invites, if
final?
he invites me, he'd be like, hey, you know what? That's the guy that's really good on my pregame and postgame show. And he sometimes hops on the Cleveland Brown radio. Let's bring him on up to
You
the
know what?
studio.
I will
Sure
tell
will
you.
go.
Here's a little known fact in the black community. We just let people just like follow teams. Like they be like, "Hey, what's your favorite team?" I like LeBron.
That's a fact.
Who's your favorite? I'm a Kobe fan. You'd be like, "No, I asked you what was your favorite team." No. Listen, I like Giannis. I'm a Giannis dude.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, I guess. Like, yeah, like. We'll root for an individual in a heartbeat, and I used to be confused by that. Because, by the way, there was a lot of Chicago Bulls fans in Cleveland when Mike was really rolling. There was a lot of people.
I mean, you can't blame him for that. You know.
Yeah,
my mama was from Chicago, but she was a Bulls fan in Cleveland.
Yeah, a lot of Lakers fans when Kobe was going before LeBron.
There's a lot of Lakers fans. What we got, McNuggets?
So 2 things on the Mobley thing real quick. If you guys haven't listened to do you guys listen to Bill Simmons' podcast ever, by any chance?
Yes.
No.
He had Ryan Russillo on, and they were doing their
I like Ryan Russillo.
NBA awards show, and they both voted for Mobley. And they both have official votes. They both cast for Mobley. And their reasoning, I just thought it was interesting. I want to throw it out there. Against Brook Lopez, he's the 3rd best defender on their team.
Who?
Brook Lopez is the 3rd best defender on the Bucks.
Who's
Facts.
Who's second? Because I know
Drew
who's
Holiday.
second. Oh, okay.
Drew Holiday
Oh,
and
yeah.
Giannis are both better defenders than
Yeah.
Brook Lopez.
Oh,
So they
yeah.
go, just by nature, I can't vote Brook Lopez as the player of the year defensively when he's not even the best defensive player on his own team.
Got you.
It is remarkable how good he has been, though, given his Brook Lopez.
How old
Fact.
he is?
I mean, him and Robin are the same age. Robin can't move,
Listen, he's
and Brook is doing it's
super facts.
all credit to him. He's having a great year, but I'm not voting for him for defense.
Yeah, it wasn't like crapping on what Brook
No,
done.
I
What
know.
he's done is
I know.
unbelievable. His contest numbers are second to none. You talk about contesting shots. Lopez is over 11.7 contests per game. I think the next closest is 8.2. But he also is in drop coverage and knows you have Drew Holiday, the best perimeter defender in the league, hounding dudes, and Giannis to clean up
And
everything
he
else.
only averages 7 rebounds a game.
Where does the Bucks deep? Not that it matters, but where is the Bucks defensive rank?
2nd or 3rd.
Okay,
One
so
of the
they
two.
right behind the
See
Cavs.
that's even more. The fact that you got a lockdown defender on the perimeter, a guy that is 7. Brook Lopez is having a great year, and Giannis, who's been multiple-time defensive player of the year.
Just once.
Well, okay, one time.
2-time MVP though.
Okay.
hate
That's even
Giannis
more
so much.
miraculous that you got
I was trying to make sure you're correct.
that you got Evan Mobley. We got the biographer ready to go on your man's. Yeah, Evan Mobley. The Cavs is his number 1 defense, and sometimes and he's 12 years old. That's crazy. He's 13.
Evan, yeah, Evan.
I don't think Evan Mobley can drink right now, can he?
I think he just turned 21. Yeah, he's 21. Simmons and Russillo's case against Jaren Jackson Jr., by the way, is what Jason said. He played 63 games and only averaged 28 minutes in those 63 games. He played literally 1,000 less minutes than Evan Mobley, who played in 79 games, played 35 minutes a game. And even though his block numbers and his block rate numbers are historically good in this modern-day era, he averaged the most fouls per game in the NBA, too. So when he was playing, he contested everything. He got a lot of blocks, got a lot of fouls, wasn't as overall valuable.
And
that
he
is
played in the
why
Western
they both
Conference.
gave their vote to Evan Mobley as their
do
defensive
that.
player of the
He play
year.
in the Western Conference, bro. Ain't nobody over there. And on top of it, he don't pay more than Karis LeVert. Karis LeVert averages 30-some odd minutes. He don't play more than 6 man.
Jeez.
Nah, we can't give you that. Listen, go ahead and warm the trophy. But here's the thing. We just talked about how we thought he gonna get it. What's the chances he actually gets it, Jason?
Mobley?
Yeah.
Listen.
50. I think 50.
They robbed him on the Rookie of the Year. Like, come on now. They can't rob him 2 years in a row.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, they can.
They can, but I hope
45. I say 45.
I got it.
So you think Brook Lopez actually gets it?
No, I think
Jaren Jackson's most likely going to win it.
At first, if you say it quickly enough, you almost sound like you saying Janet Jackson. Jaren Jackson. See, look, it kind of sounds like it. But I got it at 40%. It might be 40% that they're going to give it to him.
What made you think of that?
They'll give it to Janet. Yeah.
Jared Jack.
Anyway, you're right. You're right.
I am right.
All right, before we get to our interview with Kyle Krabs, I got to tell you all about memberships, and we got to talk a little Guardians. Today, in overtime, for Coaches Tier members of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, we are talking about one of the most disrespectful tweets in the history of tweets regarding a Cleveland Brown. For $1.99 a month, that gets you in that Starters Tier membership. It gets you loyalty badges, custom emojis, member-only community posts. For $4.99, the aforementioned Coaches Tier, it gets you all those same Starter Tier perks, overtime videos, member shout-outs, discount codes, all that good stuff. Earl, myself, and Anthony are doing a post-game show for the Cavaliers' first playoff game on Saturday. Check in for that. But yesterday here in Cleveland, not a pretty sight for the Cleveland Guardians. They got eviscerated by the Yankees. We're going to spend 2 minutes on this, 10 minutes on the other part of it. But quick thoughts, anything we have to address from last night's game?
They can't hit Garrett Cole. They might, if Garrett Cole, if he's pitching, it's a wrap. I think it's like 5-0 or whatever. After they got them little runs in the first inning, he was mowing these dudes down, bro. Like it wasn't even close. These dudes was at the plate, like looking around. I was like Jay. Jay said, the pitching staff, Savali is on the DL. For me, I'm looking for him to tread water. I'm at tread water mode right now.
I don't care about Garrett Cole shutting him down. He does that to everybody. I'm more concerned with Hunter Gaddis getting lit up like a Christmas tree. Woo. And Peyton Battenfield going today. I wrote for The Athletic a couple days ago. It's time to have the Tanner Bybee conversation.
There it is.
It's a lot sooner than we thought it was going to be. I'm not saying bring him up now. He's on schedule to pitch today.
He was cooking.
Just based on the fact that he pitched on Friday. And generally the Guardians like to have, historically, just look at their track record. Bieber had 8 starts at AAA before they brought him up. Savali was around that 8. Plesac was around 4. Bybee's only had 1. If this was June, I think Tanner Bybee would be here. For those who aren't familiar with him, one of the crown jewels of their farm system. He's probably a notch below Gavin Williams and Daniel Espino, but not by much. He's much like Shane Bieber. He was the command guy in college. Mid-round pick. He was a 5th-round pick. Shane was a 4th-round pick. Did not throw hard in college. Now he's throwing 98 in AAA. And that could easily become 99, 100 as we get into June and the weather warms. So I don't feel comfortable with Gaddis and Battenfield in the rotation. I certainly don't feel comfortable with them pitching on consecutive days. You're going to burn out the bullpen. The bullpen is terrific, but we saw what happened yesterday. Now you got Battenfield going today. They do have an off day next week. It wouldn't shock me if they try and reconfigure this a little bit. Gaddis slid into the number 2 spot in the rotation only because of timing. McKenzie got hurt. So he was your number 2 starter. So just on the timing of the schedule, the way they had guys set up, it was so close to the opener, Gaddis had to become your number 2. So with the off day on Thursday, maybe they can reconfigure some things. But I just don't like throwing those guys on back-to-back days. And I think you're going to burn out your bullpen. That's more concerning to me than anything that happened yesterday in the game with Garrett Cole.
It was just a shutout. I mean, it was just.
Oh, they whooped their ass.
But I knew the Yankees would come back with vengeance because we beat them in the first game. Yeah. So I knew how this one was going to go. I didn't think it would be like this. I thought that we were hitting well up until yesterday. I mean, I know Garrett Cole is a beast. I mean, I knew that was going to be a struggle, but I thought that maybe, just maybe, we would get over on him on this one time. But no, that man showed up, and it made me miss Tristan McKenzie a lot. Man, because we would actually had a better chance if Tristan McKenzie was on the mound, if he's the same as he was last year. But
I mean, they just transferred him to the 60-day. McKenzie's not coming back now till basically June.
I know.
June 1,
and we got to figure something out. We got to figure something out because this thing, we can lose. Like, we started off so well. The season was so hot, 3-1 against the Mariners. But
pitching was a concern.
It ain't.
It's Bieber, and really the thing that.
Bieber and then everybody else.
You know what you're going to get with Shane. I think this puts more pressure on Cal Quantrill because you need 6 and 7 innings out of Cal every start because you don't know what you're going to get out of Battenfield. You don't know what you're going to get out of Gaddis. Plesac had a great start the other day. Gave up the 2-run homer in the first, settled down. I think he made it through 7. I mean, I don't think you can expect to get that out of him. So it's really Bieber and everybody else. But if Quantrill can get you into the 6th, 7th inning in every start, that's because they've already played 4 extra inning games. They've already sort of stretched this bullpen at times, and we're only 2 weeks into the season. The Guardians bullpen is terrific, but man, you're really running the risk of overworking some of these guys. So that's just where my concern is. Cal Quantrill really has to deliver. He's gotten off to slow starts historically, but they really need him to eat some innings here, especially over the next few weeks with both McKenzie and now Savali down.
Yeah, to me, this is what the Guardians are built for. At least when you have a small market team, you have a lot of young guys, and I've been clapping it up. Give me Bybee. Tanner Bybee might be up here quicker than we thought, which is a good thing for me. I want to see him anyway. I saw him pitching in Double-A, and he has some. He got some tools. So we're gonna see him. We get an opportunity to see it. So. But I'm trying not to be a knee-jerk guy when it comes to this newfound baseball thing. So I'm gonna just catch y'all about Memorial Day. But I'm still Josh Bell. You can start hitting any day though, if you want.
He did get a hit yesterday.
Pull up. Yeah.
It is 12:25, which means it's time to remind everybody the lunch hour of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show is sponsored by Colleague Racing. Colleague Racing, the official NASCAR team of Northeast Ohio. So last night's game obviously no good. The rubber match is set for this afternoon against the Yankees. Guardians looking to take 2 of 3. My question for you guys today, though, is which one of the young Guardian stars has the best chance to be a league-wide star in baseball? A guy that fans from opposing teams in Atlanta, St. Louis, name it, say, the Guardians are coming to town. I need to see X player in person like we do with the Shohei Ohtani and Judge, someone of that caliber.
For me, but I'll let you guys go first.
Well, a lot of people would say Jimenez. I mean, he's been playing well. I think for my culture, it would be Stephen Kwan. Just because of the name, first of all, but Stephen Kwan has a real chance to be. He reminds me of Ichiro in every way. I mean, he's a young guy. He's a guy who's very reliable, and I think just with his last name, it's more recognizable. Jimenez is. Jimenez, but but I think I like Jimenez. I think Jimenez is the better player, but I like Stephen Kwan to be one of those guys who is world recognized.
I would go. See, I almost went with one guy, man. I almost went with Will Brennan, and the reason why is because
Mikey loves him.
He's a hero. That's what he is.
Yeah, like he's
MVP.
He got that
MVP.
He got that Grady Sizemore effect. You know what I'm saying? Like
I ain't ready to go there.
Yeah,
It's too early for me.
Nah,
for that.
I mean that Grady. Don't be hurt like Grady, but you know what I'm saying. It looked like it looked like you'd be a good wingman out on West 6th. So you might be doing your thing, but I got to go with Kwan. I mean, he got the international flow.
Rich homie.
And, he's just – I just like his game, man. Like, I just like the fact that he's the non-traditional guy playing left field. He always seems to be on base. Mm-hmm. He can hit to all fields. Like, he's a guy that – I call him the party starter. You know what I'm saying? You listen, if you need a guy on base – he's a dude that can get it for you, either whether it's a walk, and then he has the ability to stretch stuff from singles to doubles to triples. Mm-hmm. So for me, and he's a Gold Glover, and look at that smile. Look at that. Just got a clubhouse dude, international feeling. I'm going to go with Kwan.
So we got 2 Kwans. What you got?
You got 2 wrong answers. Sorry, guys. It's Andres Jimenez.
That's what I said. I knew it. I knew you was going to say that.
Jimenez was, the year he put up last year at his age 22 season, he was over 7 WAR. He was like 7.4 WAR. And I think too much weight is given defensively to WAR statistics. But a 7.4 WAR at your age 22 season, Robbie Alomar wasn't a 7 WAR player until he was age 31 season. Like the things he's doing, he's on an MVP track.
This is a cop-out answer.
No, it's not. He had a 7-4.
I started off by saying,
well, you should have stayed on that path because you made a wrong
answer
turn.
Is Jimenez,
You've ended
but I'm
up
not
in the
going
woods
there.
at some gas station asking
Go
for
ahead.
directions.
Finish it.
Because so, like the thing with MVP, there are some exceptions. Altuve won it twice as a second baseman. Pedroia won it as a second baseman. But the MVP really has become like a first base outfield type award. Like, you got to have monster power numbers to be in the conversation. I think Chris Bryant won one as the third baseman. So there are, like, don't come at me with all the exceptions because there have been a few guys. But by and large, if you look over the last 20 years, it's predominantly first base and outfield guys. But I do think Jimenez can join Altuve and Pedroia in that MVP race. I think Altuve was a 7.8, he was a 7.8 WAR player when he won MVP. I think Pedroia was around 7 when he won the MVP, and Jimenez is already there at age 22, and they've got him locked up for the next decade. Where's he going to be 4 or 5 years from now? I think if he stays at second base, they could move him to short after this year, but to me, he's too good at second. He's proven himself to be elite defensively at second. I think he stays there, and I think he's in MVP discussions sooner than later at the rate that he's going.
The thing that I do like about him over Quan is the home run ability.
Yeah,
because Quan is as good as Quan is.
Singles hitters don't typically become.
That's the only. But I guess it's a cop out. That's an easy answer. I don't want to go.
It's the right answer.
I don't want to go with that easy answer.
Why would I pick the Bucks to win the series? That's the easy answer.
It is.
Give me the
answer,
8
but
seed.
two of y'all went with Quan. So
No, I started off my explanation by saying the easy answer is Jimenez.
Because it's the right answer.
Well, with that, it is 12:30, which means it is time to remind the world that the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show's lunch hour is sponsored by Kaulig Racing, the official NASCAR team of Northeast Ohio. We're about to bring in Kyle Krabs here, an NFL draft expert, and this interview is sponsored by the USFL, which is coming to football fields near you this summer. Unbelievable action, great prices, family fun for everyone down in Canton. Check them out. The USFL is taking over football fields all across the country this summer. And with that, let's welcome in Kyle Krabs, NFL draft expert. Kyle, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How you guys doing?
Wonderful. Kyle, what is this change that now Bryce Young is now the heavy favorite to be the number one pick? Do you agree with that? And what has changed that?
I think this is that perfect time of year where anything that's out there is out there for a reason. And it's all kind of the gamesmanship. And we've heard some rumors that Houston, Bryce Young might be their only guy. And if they don't get Bryce Young, that they might be interested in potentially moving down the board. So then you ask yourself, okay, is this Carolina now getting cute with Houston to try to prompt and steal an extra pick because Houston was in talks with Chicago and then they balked at trading up. So it's all that misinformation season. And then from the book's perspective too, right? Like if they can take advantage of the misinformation that's out there to change the odds and kind of hedge themselves with the actual outcomes on Thursday night in a couple of weeks. It's all part of the gamesmanship this time of year, and it's lying season at its best. So I'm enjoying the ride, and I'm trying not to read too much in between the lines.
So who would you say, if you had to pick, who you think going number one?
I think it's Stroud. Okay. I think CJ has the most translatable skill set as far as what you're asking a quarterback to do at the next level to what he did at Ohio State. I know people will look at the helmet and they'll say, oh, Ohio State quarterbacks, but just turn on the film, right, and watch what he's capable of doing. And, the story of recent Ohio State quarterbacks is still unwritten because we're still figuring out what Justin Fields is capable of doing in Chicago, too. So I've been more impressed with Stroud, his style of play, as I've continued to watch the tape of not just the quarterbacks, but other position groups and kind of watching them in peripherals, that I think CJ has the most direct translation. And for Carolina, look, they've been beating around the bush on potentially going out and getting a quarterback for like 5-6 years now. And you want to make sure you have a certain floor of what that player is going to be. And that's not to say that CJ Stroud's not a high ceiling player either, but I would want to know with the utmost confidence what I am getting with that investment if I was Carolina.
Kyle, we look at, with the quarterbacks, you mentioned C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young. Anthony Richardson, you hear his name creeping up.
Mm-hmm.
You hear a guy like Will Levis. Oh, Will Levis is creeping up. I don't know what he's doing. He looks like an American gladiator right now. I don't know if he's doing extra push-ups, but these 4 quarterbacks seem to be getting a lot of movement. Could you see 4 quarterbacks taken in the first 4 picks?
Yeah, I think the pathway to that is Houston being in position to get whatever their guy is, whether that's Bryce Young or somebody else. And then the Raiders potentially trading up in front of the Colts for a quarterback, because they've been very hot on the 30 visits for all of the quarterback prospects, bringing them in. And the Jimmy G contract, you can look at it and say, oh, it's a significant amount of money. It's about $25 million per season across 3 years. But really the first year of it's guaranteed, and that's it. So I think the Raiders are kind of the team that if you're going to get 4, it's the Raiders willing to play a price to go to 3 that the Colts wouldn't pay to play defense and just trade up to 3 preventatively to prevent somebody from jumping them to get the 4th of the 4 quarterbacks. But it's a very binary thing. It's the haves or the have-nots. And if you don't have a quarterback, and these teams that we're talking about don't, life for you is going to be very difficult to win on a consistent basis until you get one. So now's the time if you're in striking range.
Kyle, what's going to happen to Jalen Carter?
Man, I wish I knew. It feels like there's one of these guys every year that is a consensus top 3 player, and then you get into this draft process, and a large portion of the draft process is teams poking holes in your resume and trying to find reasons not to draft you. Now, how much of this with Jalen Carter is legitimate of concern to teams? That's to be determined. I do know he's declining visits from teams not currently scheduled to pick inside the top 10, according to his agent. And that gives me a pretty good sense that somebody in the top 10 is going to love him enough to pick him, where he might not go 3, where that may have been considered chalk when the draft order was set. But I still think that he's going to probably hear himself off in the first 10 picks just based on the talent. And it's going to be a matter of who's comfortable with the things that have come up with him as far as the effort and, of course, the off-the-field stuff with him that came out kind of in front of the national championship game.
Kyle, is Jahmyr Gibbs good enough to go in the first round? Obviously, we know that Bijan Robinson is one of those guys that's probably going to go first round. We know the running back value has diminished over the past few years, but Jahmyr Gibbs is one of those guys that is a good running back, also catches the ball out the backfield, can run routes. Is he good enough to sneak up in that first round?
I think in the right situation, yes. Now you think about Philadelphia, who's picking at 30. That's a team that needs a running back. They just lost Miles Sanders to Carolina in free agency on it was a pretty impressive deal. I think it was around $7.5 million per year, something in that ballpark. They brought in Rashad Penny on a 1-year deal. They largely don't have a player there to step into that role, and you're going to want as many bodies as you can in the backfield to make sure that when you use Jalen Hurts with his legs, it's effective, but you're not putting too much on his plate in that capacity. So I think if he does sneak in, a team like Philadelphia would be the right spot. Eagles fans will tell you, hey, Howie Roseman would never do that. He'd never draft a linebacker in the first round. He'd never draft a running back in the first round, all about positional value. But the Eagles are kind of at a spot where I think they're kind of playing with house money. They were expected to lose at least one of their 2 corners. They brought them both back, so they've kind of axed that need off of their list of urgent things to address. And because of that, I think maybe they are in a position to draft a player like Jahmyr, because you're absolutely right. The mismatch ability that he has to line up in the backfield or line up in the slot and get really creative with the things that you do with him before the snap and then manufacture him touches, plus his instincts as a runner in general to be able to actually carry the ball in a traditional role, adds up to somebody who should take a significant amount of snaps early on in his pro career.
Kyle, I've been looking forward to these little 3 picks. I think Brown's got 74, 98.
Are you going to ask this man who they're taking at 74?
No.
Okay.
I'm asking. No, I was asking 111. I wanted to know pick 111.
What's the one after that?
I'm like, is there a linebacker? Or we need a linebacker. I would take another speedy receiver. Is there anybody worth packaging picks up to move into the second round range for a linebacker that could give me somebody that I could play today that might be ready to play immediately, and a speed receiver that's still available that could add some down the field threats for Deshaun Watson if I want to package those 2 picks to get up to the second round?
Yeah, I think the linebacker group's a really good opportunity where one of the top testers in the group was Jack Campbell from Iowa, and he's very different from Owusu Koromoa as kind of the best of the bunch that I think is in-house for Cleveland right now, where Owusu Koromoa is a little undersized. He's a space guy. Campbell's more of a traditional stack linebacker with a lot of length, but surprised everybody with how well he tested athletically. So that's someone, if he gets past the picks in the late 20s, he may end up, just based off positional value and linebackers in general not being a premium position, sliding to the middle of the second round. And if you want to put the picks together, and it might take a 2024 pick in addition to go up and get that done, I think Campbell's the name that really moves the needle at the linebacker position for somebody who's different than the guys that you have in-house and would be a definitive upgrade over whether it's Jacob Phillips or Anthony Walker. I think he's pro-ready. The instincts are off the charts there. He's been a starter for like 3 seasons now. I think Jack Campbell's your guy at linebacker if you want to make a splash. As far as speed receiver goes, I think there's a lot of really attractive options. If you want speed, Scott from Cincinnati, Tyler Scott, I think is a really good name to watch here as kind of an unheralded name. If Josh Downs from North Carolina gets into the middle of the second round as well, he's not big, but he's actually surprisingly good in contested catch situations for a guy who's 5'9", 175, but he's got the speed, and I think he's versatile where you can line him up in the slot or you can line him up at Z on the perimeter and ask him to run deeper developing routes. And, of course, you think about Watson and the success that he had in Houston with Will Fuller as kind of having that guy in-house. I see enough parallels there where I think Downs could be a name to watch if you wanted to go up, make a splash, and not covet having a bunch of picks, but having more impactful picks that are fewer.
Kyle, I know we're not going to ask you to predict who's there at 74, but I did the work for you, and I went through as many mock drafts as I could find this morning for Browns projections at number 74. Of these 5 options, which one do you think would fit into what the Browns – like which one of these 5 projected mocks at 74 do you think is the best fit for the Browns?
I like Derek Hall quite a bit. I think he has a pretty high ceiling. He's a little stiff, but he is somebody who has a lot of power. I think he would complement Myles Garrett pretty well. I think he'd be a good change-up pace from Agbo Okoronkwo as well, who obviously Cleveland signed in free agency. He's a little bit more undersized, speed rusher type. Derek Hall, prototypical build. So if I'm looking at positional value, if I'm looking at the value of those players, I think Derek Hall, who has kind of gotten stagnant a little bit. There was a long time there at the end of the regular season in college football where you thought this might be a first-round pick. That's a guy that kind of has my eye that I would like out of those 5 options.
And Kyle, one more real quick. One of my favorite parts of the draft are all of the descriptive words they use to describe offensive linemen. Hog mollies, they got the oily hips, fast feet, heavy feet, whatever.
Dancing bears.
Do you have a favorite draft term that if you said to someone else outside of the draft context, they'd be like, what the hell are you talking about?
I think the Mayock dancing bear one will always have a soft spot in my heart just because it paints such this vivid picture. And then you see guys that it embodies where they're really stocky, but they're really wide, and they just have this nimbleness about them that I think really hits home. So give me the Mayockism of dancing bears is my favorite draftism.
I got to call a 20-second timeout because Channel 3 WKYC is so pristine. There is a street sweeper cleaning the garage right now. I've never seen that before.
Like they got.
I've actually never seen it either.
The studio is like we're attached to the parking garage. I'm watching a street sweeper go up and down and clean the garage. I don't even clean my garage at home. I've never seen this. I'm mesmerized by this man on the street sweeper. Anyway, sorry.
Is it
Kyle.
a Zamboni? I hear it. I can't see it.
It's a street sweeper. Like it's got the and I got ADD. So Kyle, I have missed the last 3 minutes of our conversation because I'm watching.
I'm just mad I can't see it myself.
It's amazing. I've never seen anything like it. But anyway, how many quarterbacks are going in the first round? Let's go back to quarterbacks. Hendon Hooker. Any shot there? Are we at 4 or 5? Where is it?
I'm selling. I remember it wasn't that too long ago that we were talking about Davis Webb going in the first round, and you get some of these other guys that early April, late March, agent season, trying to pump guys up, gas guys up. There's a lot to like about Hendon Hooker, but he's the quintessential, in my mind, day 2 quarterback to take, where he's an older player, he's coming off of an injury, he's playing in an offense at Tennessee that does things with splits and spacing at the college level that is almost a different game than what you're going to play in the NFL. And he only really took his step when getting into that offense as compared to playing at Virginia Tech. So I'm selling on Hooker. I think you get the other 4 guys in the first round, and you'll have 4 first-round quarterbacks, and they'll all probably be off the board in the top 10.
Well, I see that you are a huge Miami Dolphins fan. You know, with the
What gave it away?
Just so happened to check the background out. So with that being said, with Tua having the concussions, is this the year that y'all look in the draft to draft another quarterback like a Hendon Hooker if he's there day 2, or what do you think they do with their picks?
I think they're going to take this year. They were very quick to exercise the 5th-year option for Tua, and that's pretty rare. Usually the 5th-year options, they don't get pulled until the last week of April or the first week of May, kind of closer to the deadline. But I think the Dolphins have kind of been sick and tired of, after the Brian Flores era, of flirting with trading for Deshaun Watson for 18 months and not dismissing it. Mike McDaniel really believes in this guy if he can stay healthy, and I think they wanted to kind of put it to bed early this year. So I think their effort this year will be, hey, can we get an offensive lineman? They've got 2 needs on the offensive line at left guard and right tackle. Can we get a tight end in the building? Can we go out and get a defensive tackle or a linebacker? They have 2 day 2 picks. Try to get players that can contribute this year, and then let Tua prove he could stay healthy on the 5th-year option next year, or going into his 4th year, and then make the decision long term once they get back to having a refilled draft capital, because they traded a 1 for Bradley Chubb and they traded a 1 for Tyreek Hill and a bunch of stuff in the last 12 months. So I think they'll ride this year out and let Tua kind of decide for him with how healthy he can stay this year.
You know, Kyle, when you look at the, really quickly before we let you go, when you look at the playoffs, right, if you had to take a look at the AFC, which teams do you think are most susceptible of not making the playoffs that made it last year?
Oh, man. I think we need to figure out what the heck's going on with Lamar Jackson in Baltimore, and obviously the Odell Beckham signing is a promising step, because he and Lamar hopped on the phone and were chatting it up. I think Jacksonville's a good bet. I'd be interested to see what the Chargers are able to do with some of their weak spots. They're going to be in a more competitive division this year. I think the Broncos will be much better than they were last year. But the Chargers have to get better on the defensive line and run defense, and they've had some attrition from a talent perspective. So I think the Chargers are one to watch just because of playing in the West that I think will be better. And then obviously if Aaron Rodgers comes to the AFC East, you have to acknowledge the Dolphins as potentially being the 3rd team in the AFC East if they're not able to stay healthy in key spots as well. So I look at Baltimore, Miami, and Los Angeles and say those are 3 teams that one of them is definitely going to be out just based off law of averages, but we'll see which one doesn't break the right way.
Kyle, good stuff from you. We'll talk to you hopefully soon. And hopefully your Dolphins don't perform as good as the Browns. We're just going to keep it honest with you, because we would like your spot. We would like to be in the playoffs, so that's just why.
Wait. Before we let Kyle go, Kyle, I have one question. You may not know the answer to this. How long have you been doing detailed scouting reports on players coming out of the draft?
2013, so about 10 years now.
Yes.
So let's go back to 2016.
Yes.
Then. Did you happen to have a scouting report on one Tyvis Powell, a safety from Ohio State?
I'd have to dig into the archives. I remember watching the name. I remember writing some notes down. Was definitely blue chip prospect, top of the first round kind of guy from my memory off the top of my head.
Really?
God bless you.
You know what?
You know what?
I change your. I'm cutting your ass.
This man has got so much credibility. You know what? They need Mel Kiper and them need to move aside and let you just go ahead and be that guy, because you recognize true talent.
I just changed them. I'm keeping Tiger and I'm cutting your ass.
This dude, man.
Kyle, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
Made this day, Kyle.
I appreciate you guys. Let's chat soon.
All right.
See you, Kyle.
Have a good one, Kyle.
Take care.
Now you listen. Now you in there with JOK. He sent me something. Tyvis sent us something in the chat. He said, "Yeah, I'm 3% body fat." He don't even come out and just it'd be like, bam. That's
not what I said. I didn't say anything. I just sent the picture.
He just said, boom, 3%.
I have
body fat.
3% body fat in this leg
Yeah,
right
but,
here.
like,
That
I was
work.
born with 3% fat everywhere.
Well, I mean, naturally, I'm not a big guy.
Tyvus is like, man, I got 3%. If I lose weight, I'm gonna lose muscle.
Yeah.
Oh, boo.
Tyvus goes, I'm not a big guy. He's 6'3", 228 with 3% body fat.
You a
linebacker.
You a linebacker in this new age. You talking about I ain't a big dude, bro.
Because if I start like playing basketball or something, I lose 10 pounds, 15 pounds like that.
Oh, it's awful.
Oh, boo-hoo.
Y'all is sick.
Do we have the world's smallest violin to play for our good friend Tyvus Powell?
This dude.
I'm trying to get back to 215, and it's just not.
If I play basketball, I lose an
it's
ankle.
almost impossible.
Yeah, if I lose basketball, I dislocate my whole lower body from the
knee.
hips down.
Y'all got to get active,
Lost a
man.
knee for 6 weeks.
Yeah, if you dislocate your glutes, that's like, bro, they're like, but G. Bush, that's a muscle group. No, it's all torn. Everything.
Really?
Putty.
Man. Well, I'm about to hoop with McNuggets on the 9th, so.
Let's see, how old is you? 20 what?
29.
Bro, it's always around them 30s, man.
What is-
Them 30s, man.
What's
Like
wrong with
you got guys landing up underneath you. McNuggets and his ragtag crew.
I'm an athlete, though.
They gonna listen. They gonna be playing hard. They gonna find out you went to Ohio State.
That's
They're
the
gonna be
thing.
playing extra hard.
Gee, I'm 228. I'm going to the hole like LeBron. They better get out the way. You better move or suffer the consequences.
Man, boy, you know, all it takes is
Tell them,
once.
McNuggets, I'm going for it all. I'm coming. Boo! They better
I told
move.
Tyvus he could play with whatever he wants. They invited him multiple times. Also, if you guys have not been invited, I want to cordially invite you guys to the Greeny Lakes Collectors Convention Card Show on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of this weekend at the Fieldhouse in Independence, Ohio. It's where the passion of sports fans, collectors, and sports talks enthusiasts collide. 50,000 square feet of ball card bliss, hundreds of display tables, and Card Shop Live Theater with interactive appearances from some of the most notable media members in the greater Cleveland area, including G. Bush and Adam the Bull themselves. Great cards, great location, great show. Tickets on sale now at greenysportscards.com. We will be there on Sunday. I heard there's a Pop-A-Shot, which is I'm taking everybody's money in Pop-A-Shot when we're down there at the Fieldhouse. It's also one last reminder that the lunch hour of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show is sponsored by Colleague Racing, the official NASCAR team of Northeast Ohio. We got 10 minutes left, guys. There were 2 playing games in the NBA last night. The Heat, we all thought they were going to win. They got shellacked. It was the least entertaining 11-point game of all time. And the Lakers needed overtime to beat the Rudy Gobert-less Timberwolves. Thoughts on the 2 games? Did you enjoy? Did you watch?
Yeah.
Do you care?
I hated the Heat game. I turned it on. It was a shocker. I didn't think they'd be down like that, but I guess Jimmy didn't have the type of game that he usually have. Usually a playoff Jimmy comes in and, he's good for a good 30, 40 points. And I seen him missing free throws, which is unusual. He couldn't make no shots. So I knew which way that was going. I thought the Hawks had a lot more energy. That youth seemed to have kicked in, and they just really took over that game. They was hitting shots. As far as the Lakers game go, I mean, we knew that LeBron was not going to lose this game. I mean, even though D'Angelo Russell only had 2 points, it's just Anthony Davis and LeBron came to play. They had some good bench play from Schroeder off the bench. I think he had 21 off the bench. And on top of that, Anthony Edwards laid an egg, man. He was like 6 for 17 or something. It was terrible. I couldn't believe it. I thought him being the guy that he is, I thought he would take over this game and at least be able to bang with LeBron, but he did not show up last night.
These guys, listen, it's medium sauce.
Dang. Anthony Edwards, medium sauce?
Carl Anthony Towns had the Reeves boy on him, and he's stepping back, cat. They should have, come on, bro. These guys are frauds.
Listen, last year we seen Patrick Beverly act like he won the lotto. He took his jersey off, threw it in the stands, was shedding tears. I thought we was going to get that moment last night.
Listen, by the way, Jimmy Butler is old.
So? He just had a great playoff run last year.
The Heat, that proud organization.
It's not like they out of it. Wait, are they out of it,
No,
or they got another game, right?
They got to now play the
winner of
the other playing
Bulls and Raptors, I think it is.
Correct.
But it's Jason. It's time for them to tank. It's time.
It's a little late for that. We're well past that point.
Hey, like I'll be the owner. I'd be the owner like that would go to my people and be like, hey, can we tank? They're like, it's
too late.
Coach, we're in the playing game. I'm like, you sure we can't? Ain't no more games past this one? They don't have no assets to work with. Like I like what they're trying to do, and they're like hard-nosed guys and Jimmy Butler and Kyle. Like that ain't gonna get it done no more, bro. That is not Tyler Hero. Okay, that's cool. That's not gonna get it done.
They did really well. The Hawks did really well defending Bam Adebayo last night. I mean, he couldn't get to the cup to save his life.
Well, I didn't see the Hawks game, I'll be honest. We were at friend's house, but I was shocked at the score. I thought Miami would roll. I still think Miami's going to get in. I think they'll beat either Toronto or Chicago. I'll be really shocked if they lose entirely. And Miami don't tank. With Pat Riley, they don't ever tank.
Never reset.
They lost LeBron and said,
no.
I want to see
the
Bulls beat them because I want to see Patrick Beverly jump on the scorer's table again and throw his jersey.
But go ahead.
Well, the Lakers game, I mean, LeBron had 30, 10, and 6 and didn't play well. Like that was like a typical game one LeBron.
Yeah, it was.
Only problem was that was like game 6.5 last night.
Yeah,
and he was playing it like it was game one, like never.
Until
he dove on the floor, like the last 5 minutes, he was balling. But until then, I just thought he was in cruise control the whole night. They were down 15 at one point. I thought, what is going on? They did not play well. I still think. I mean. I don't know if we talked about it. I don't think we did. I think they're going to the conference finals. I've thought that for a while.
I think McNuggets said they favored to be.
They are.
I am. Either's moved since this morning, but they are plus 105, and the Grizzlies are minus 110. So essentially dead even odds in a 7-2 series, which if you look at the Eastern Conference, the 7-2, the Celtics are minus 10,000 to win the series. So
I think, it's definitely. I think
That's ridiculous.
I think the Suns got a real good chance. If they can just.
I think the Suns are I think we're probably getting ahead, but I'm not here Friday, so screw it. I'm going to say what I want to say.
Blow through that.
I think it's Suns-Lakers conference finals in the West. Suns probably win that, but the Lakers. I think they really needed to win that game last night. I think they got a better path as the 7 than the 8.
I don't even know who I like in
So well, you're not supposed to say. Well, you could say screw it.
I ain't here Friday.
We're taking over the show. We got 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
But I've thought for a while if LeBron is engaged and motivated and feels like they got a chance, you're going to get the full LeBron. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that looks like because it's been a few years since we've seen that. I don't know, but if he thinks AD is healthy and motivated, engaged, like LeBron has said multiple times, it's worse to get there and lose. I'd rather not get there at all. But so if he doesn't think they can win, then but the fact that he came back as quick as he did from the injury tells me he's locked in and motivated. I think they can make the conference finals.
And I think you see the little twinkle, like it's something to be said for like, oh, I'm in the dance because LeBron feels if I'm in the dance.
He's on record multiple times. He said for years, I don't care about seeding. I don't care where we're at. Just get me in and get out of the way. Now, is he still that guy? I don't know. But the West, who in the West scares you that you think they can't beat? There's no team in the West.
There's no team that's unbeatable.
Lil Durk, a.k.a. Ja Morant, we not scared of you. Like outside we're terrified of you outside of the building.
Especially when you're with your
terrified.
boys.
Like you are a menace outside. You is mean in these streets. I want no problems with you. Don't run up along me. But I will say, on that court, you don't want no problems. Listen, that series, and Steven Adams is out.
That's the problem right there.
Steven Adams is out. All you need is Anthony Davis to just be Pelicans Anthony Davis for about
Jaren Jackson gonna have to win that DPOY for this.
Yeah, he gonna have to work for that. But I have no faith in them.
I guess it was the Nuggets. I have to be, and I don't really. And the thing
the
about
Nuggets are the most disrespected 1 seed
ever.
on
that's
the
because Nikola Jokic, he gets to playoffs, and for some odd reason they punk him every year, and it's unbelievable.
I just can't. All right, so if you this is the crazy part. If I look at a healthy Durant and a healthy LeBron or a healthy Steph Curry, I'm not taking the Nuggets over none of them. I'm just not. I can't say.
I don't blame you.
I can't see them going into a playoff and him just killing them.
I still think everybody write Golden State off, and I'm just like, I don't know, man, because they could just if they start, they turn it on. nothing you can really do about it.
It's more interesting than people let
The
on.
West is very interesting.
It's interesting, and I think the only series people are gonna watch. Get ready, Cleveland. That 4-5 series.
Oh, that's the best one.
That's the best series.
the best
and
one.
people will be watching all over the place.
Because it could go either way.
Yeah.
Nobody really got a finger on who's going to actually win now. Every other one you can kind of predict how it's going to go, but this one?
Is it bad? I got a feeling that the Cavs going to lose one of them first two games.
No, it's not crazy at all.
I
can see them losing the very first one.
Yeah.
And then hopefully after that, they just they're going to go 7 games.
I think it's going to be highly contested. And like you said, they're going to have to win a game in New York. They're going to have to. So I tell you, do we have final takes, McNuggets? Who got a final take? Nobody?
We got 90 seconds, so if we got time for one. Does anyone want to fire one off?
I'll fire one off. Today,
right.
You going to play it? You going to do the thing?
Yeah, we'll play it, Tyvis. I got you. Don't worry.
Pause.
It's real quick. So I was on my drive up from Columbus today. Obviously I drive Columbus to Cleveland on Wednesday, and I typically listen to an audio book, but today I let the music ride today, right? And I got this old school playlist that y'all moms and aunties and grandparents will really respect, okay? And as I'm listening to this 80s and 90s R&B, it made me realize that the music today is trash. Man. Our R&B music is just trash. It don't talk about nothing no more. Like back in the day, like they was actually like in love. Outside of Too Close, that was once you get older, you realize what Too Close is actually saying. You like, man, that's kind of crazy. But anyways,
You will go to jail.
I know, right? But I was sitting there and I'm just listening. I'm comparing old school R&B to our R&B today, and it's not even close, man. Like we got to figure this out. Like we got to get in love again or something. It's too much. Society has made love look bad. We need to just fall in love and just be happy again. It's my take.
Kyle Krabs just sent me his scouting report for Tyvis Powell.
It's a banger.
We will show you what he graded Tyvis Powell in overtime.
Yes.
Stick around.
You're making it hard for me.